Are we live yet? It's really hard to tell. OBS just often doesn't say. Yes, we are live. Okay, brilliant. Sorry I'm 6 minutes late. I was actually trying to be early so we wouldn't have a repeat of last stream, but OBS decided to like unconnect from YouTube, so I had to like re-log in, and then my webcam decided not to work. So just a lot of disasters. Looking at chat, anything important being said? Some banter about Napoleon's height. Some banter about Skeletor's height. Can we get much higher? Absolutely brilliant stuff. Okay, cool. So I haven't missed anything particularly important in stream. Okay, so today we will be doing the what do you call it? The fan roster ranking that I've been mentioning for ages. We still haven't done the fictional character like roster yet, even though we said we could do that like probably like a year ago now, but we are getting there. And I haven't actually had a proper look at like how many of these we have to actually like look at today. Let me have a little nosy in the Discord. I'll have the Discord up on screen when we're actually like doing stuff. A lot. Okay, we got. I guess I never put like a cutoff, so I guess we'll do everything in the channel. It's not too late to insert stuff into the Discord now. Anyone that is, but you know it's gonna hopefully be good, and we're gonna see some cool ideas. If I was smart, probably would have made my own roster for this. Didn't really think about that, but you know, maybe I'll nick one of your guys' rosters. I'll probably wait another. We get another like 10 minutes or so for some. If anyone else needs to come in before we like start doing the ranking stuff, so we can have some general discussion before then. But then we're probably going to we're ranking, but we're not like actually ranking. We're going to be putting all of your guys' things on a tier list, but I'm not going to say what any of the tiers actually mean. You'll see what I mean in a bit. So I will know what the tier list means, but you guys will have no clue at all. So you know. Looking at stream, Joe Boy, the Grim Reaper versus Dante, the embodiment of death versus a man who went to the land of the dead and back. Yeah, Dante was just like, if no one's read the Divine Comedy, you should, because it's actually pretty funny at parts. It's very good, but like everyone focuses on Dante's Inferno, but like there's like more to it than that. He doesn't just go to hell; he does go to like everywhere else in the afterlife. It's pretty good. Candy Sensei, mine isn't that good. I had to mix real people with fictional characters because I didn't have time to research some of them. Yeah, it's fair. Like, it's all for fun. I'm not going to be like grilling you guys on your ones. Vic Raw, I got my list made months ago, but whatever I did just now in the last 3 days. Nice. Oh, we're not doing the fictional characters this time. I got this idea for one. We will be doing it soon. Basically, what this is as the community post said on the channel, yeah, I mean, still not too late to do it. Everyone on the Discord has put in their fan rosters either for like real life humans and mythological gods, or there's some rosters of some fictional characters, fictional gods in there. Just whatever you want. So anyway, you can do whatever you want. Like, a roster can be anything you want. It's it's just a bit of fun, and we're just gonna. This is a good way for us to share the ideas and get some cool ideas out there. Basically, anyone thinking there will be an announcement for the anime of the Lubu spin-off at the 25th with season 3? Maybe. I've not really heard anything about the Lubu spin-off apart from those initial what's it called? What's the word? Some like the initial rumors. So I don't know. Just saying, we all poured like paragraphs into our rosters. Yeah, I have seen some of the paragraphs in there, but we got time. We'll work for it all. I haven't seen anything since last time. It's Flying Spearmons versus Corey G still in the picture. Yes, if you're talking about Sephiroth, we are up to round 5 now. If you haven't seen them, go watch them on the channel. They are interesting videos. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, Corey G versus Spearmons has already happened, and it was a magnificent fight. No chance the spin-offs are going to get adaptations. I don't know, like, we've had the Lubu rumors. I like them to, like, I think Lubu would be really cool to be animated. And just because it's the animating spin-offs doesn't mean it's by the same people as the main series. So we could actually get good adaptations of them. 15 rosters by my count. Okay, that's pretty good. How's round 6 looking? I've not made like any progress since last stream. I've been quite busy with like other stuff, real world stuff, possibly moving soon. So I've been doing a lot of like house viewings recently. So that takes up time because I've got to coordinate with potential housemates and then got to like drive there, drive back. It's it takes up your evenings pretty quickly and your weekends. And I've been really trying to bang out a lot of videos because we haven't been the most consistent recently. There's been a couple of weeks of no videos. So we are basically so I've been trying to like queue up a lot of videos. So next week's video, which will be the Prometheus video, is already done, completely edited and ready to go. And I'm currently editing a JJK video for the week after, and then I need to get started on the Neko Shiro video and like the next Seven Rock thing. So there's a lot like I'm trying to get in the works, but like I just have been pretty busy recently. My idea was Denji versus Percy Jackson, boy with the power of a devil versus boy with the power of a god. I guess end of book series Percy probably would he beat Denji? I don't know. Maybe not actually. I don't know. It depends on the scale Denji. I'm going to actually write out a full fanfic of my Marvel Ragnarok. Got so many ideas. Yes, please do. I'd love to read it. I don't care if Sandra Rock's peak. An adaptation of the Shinigami manga is what I need. Oh my god, that'd be amazing. I mean, if we just got, like, English translations of it, would be pretty good as a start. What if Lubu got betrayed and sealed in the time chamber for 10,000 years? Love to see some fan art of that. Just like, because we all know we know the artwork that comes when we're talking about that kind of premise. Have you seen the cover for the new Apocalypse chapter? Yes, I have. I was like cropping bits out of it for it to make the thumbnail for the Prometheus video earlier today. Yeah, I have. Wukong and Goatmeus look so ugly. It's not the most flattering image of Prometheus. I think Wukong looks about the same as Wukong usually does in this. Wukong's most of the time doesn't look great. I think in his flashback he looked alright, but yeah, it's not the most interesting of covers, I must say. I'm hoping. See, because of like how the pacing's going of Apocalypse, it is genuinely possible. Like some of the rounds may be so short that we do miss out on a volume cover for like a pair. Like presumably volume 3 would be the round 3 fighters, but like let's say like round 3 and round 4 for some reason end up in the same volume. Are we just gonna lose out on seeing the color designs for some of the fighters? Shinigami had a fight. It's just very, very hard to find. Who wins Chin versus Apollo? I think it's a sort of 50-50. If Apollo pulls out the bow, then he wins. In pure stats, I think Chin Shi Huang should just take it. I don't know. It's hard to say because like one of Apollo's big things, things over Leonardo. Like Leonardo was a much more like stat wise and a lot stronger than Apollo, but Apollo made up for that with just like skill and footwork and stuff. Qin Shi Huang probably is a lot more graceful on his feet than Leonidas, so he probably could keep up with Apollo. And considering like how much of a glass cannon like Apollo is, it wouldn't take much for Chin to put him down. Though, again, if the bow gets pulled out, I don't see what Chin's going to do. So it's a hard one. I'd probably give it to Chin, but, like, it is kind of hard. I heard that Percy is country level with with MSS plus speeds. Yeah, from what I remember, you can definitely wank him to kind of stuff like that. It's hard. It's like, you can wank Denji quite a bit as well. It depends how you want to, what's it called, like, scale it. I'd probably give it to Percy, but, like, it depends, like, can Denji go in, because Denji can just go into Chainsaw Man form, and once he does that, then yeah, Percy probably gonna lose. But a group started translating it, so up to chapter 40. Oh wait, we've got like an actual consistent translation for Shinigami now. I would definitely have to check it out then. Jackman gets fully up to date. It is. Doesn't help that it's not very good though. As I said, I got to throw some shade at the Jack spin-off when I can. Ahura Mazda better hope he doesn't get patched since he's the unbalanced. I didn't know we were ranking Pharos until 10 minutes before the stream. I was only able to come up with 2 rounds of my rosters. Oh, well, let me keep rambling. I'll ramble for a bit more, give you a little more time if you need it. But yeah, there was... Yeah, I mentioned it last stream, but, like, I'm not the best. I probably should have put, like, a couple more reminders, like, so my fault. Skirtle, how is Sephiroth doing? I haven't checked up on it since we made the matchups, like, a year ago. We're on round 5 now. 5 rounds of videos. Chin is the peak of martial arts. Yeah, I guess he is. There might be a statement about that or something I'm forgetting. But Apollo knows himself. Apollo does know himself. He defeated a god of no powers and martial arts alone. Yeah, it's true, but, like, we don't know how strong What was it? What's his name? Chuyin? Is it Chuyin? I feel like I'm saying his name wrong. What's the god's name again? Let me find him. Let me find the guy. How hard is it to find this guy? Honestly. Someone's probably said it in chat already, but, like, I will find it. No, it's Chiyu. Yeah, Chiyu. Yeah. Yeah, Chiyu. We don't know how strong Chiyu actually was, though. Assuming he's quite strong, but, like, we don't know. Like, I really didn't see anything since the matchup sides. I'm doing anime characters versus regular round of gods. The characters I pick will fit the themes of the original matches. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Sounds fun. My fan roster is probably B tier. Some don't have the best connections. Well, we are tiering, but, like, there's no A, B, C, D tier. You'll see what I mean in a minute. But, like, people have no idea, like, how well or badly I'm rating it, because we want this fun. We don't want, like, anyone getting called trash. Do we know all the current unnames for the Apocalypse fighters that have been shown? No, we don't know Nezha's. And we don't know... No, most of them we don't know. Because we don't know Enma's. We don't know Nezha's. We don't know Zook or Vermilion Bird. We don't know Indra's either. Although, to be fair, like, not everyone's is an outer god. We know over half of them are outer gods. Like, I don't know why Indra would be an outer god, so Indra probably doesn't have one, for example. But, again, we just don't know which of them are... We don't know which ones are and aren't outer gods, basically. As Seth said, we're at round 5. Don't want to spoil any of the matches. Yeah, I saw the players. The art is so peak. The art, like the thumbnail for number 1 has, like, intentionally awful art. But, like, I still want to keep it awful. But, like, it's still bad art. It's like MS Paint art, like, unintentional. But it's becoming, like, I'm looking at it like, this is looking a little too clean. We want it to look worse than this. Isn't the ones that made the Ragnarok anime the same ones who made the awful Berserk anime? Maybe? I don't know. What studio makes Record of Ragnarok? In all defense to the Berserk thing, that was, like, their first time doing any CGI. Again, like, I don't really know why you would do an entire anime with that, but who knows. It's a studio I've never heard of. What is this studio? What else have they made? I genuinely don't think I've watched any... No, it isn't. No, it's a different studio to the Berserk people. On the basis that I've never even heard... Oh, no, I have seen something they've done. They did Muv-Luv. Muv-Luv's awful. I've heard the Muv-Luv games are good, but, like, the anime is really bad. And that's about it. Yeah, it's a very... The studio doesn't seem to have done anything particularly interesting. It's called Yumata Company. Imagine if we had someone like the guy who's doing Convict Coliseum for Sephiroth. What is Convict Coliseum? I can't say I'm familiar. Let me have a look. Convict Colosseum. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. Oh, this looks awesome. I'll have to have a look at this afterwards. This looks really cool, actually. Okay, we got 13 people. It's probably fine to have a look what we're working with here. So, if this works, we should be able to go like... Yeah? Okay, sorry about that. I didn't say anything important. I was just trying to make sure everything worked right. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. Okay, cool. No sound still. Have we got sound back yet? I don't know how like behind this stuff is. Showing OBS wise that I do have sound. I will wait for confirmation from somebody else in chat before I know for sure we do. Okay, it's back. Cool. Just make the art become more good as the matches go on. Round 13 looking like a Renaissance painting. I could genuinely do that. It'd be pretty funny. But I think we're about to meet the peak of my artistic ability. So I don't know how much further we're gonna get without like hiring artists for this. Comic costumes, fan made Kengan tournament. The choreography improves as the fight's going. Yeah, I had a look at some of the artwork and it looks pretty sick actually. Side stories of the backstories of the convicts. Yeah, it's back here about I can eat. Cool. Okay, so we've got a couple of these. What's it called? Fan rosters. We've got all of these basically. So what I think we're gonna do is I just want to, I guess, just go down the thing. Let's have a look. So I assume if I go past things, so this is all just general chatter. I think. So I think this here. Why are you? Well, Discord's censoring names, which is a great start. I guess it's if you don't want your name. Anyway, whoever this is, I don't know who this is. But whoever you are who we are ranking first. Mainly because I can't see who it is. But so this is L. We've got classic L. So L's roster. If L comes up later on again, I guess, which is possible. Maybe I should check that first. Again, I've really not planned this amazingly. I just saw the big H man's name come up there. Oh, yeah, I get what you mean with paragraphs. Yeah, fair enough. I think we can confidently say whoever the mystery L is, they have not put another roster in. Okay, cool. So let's start with this bad boy. So we got a matchups here. And it seems... Okay, seems a pretty good one. There's not much to work on here, so I'll be pretty quick with this one. So our first matchup from Mystery L is Spartacus versus Mars. I guess I'm just trying to like work through what some kind of themes is. Well, Spartacus is all about rebellion. Mars is about war. So you could always have like... You got some kind of war theme. Kane versus Set. I feel Kane's going to show up in a lot of these rosters. yeah, I feel like Kane's going to be quite common. Set is pretty cool. Da Vinci versus Thanatos. Thanatos, I feel like... I feel Thanatos is going to be pretty fun. Another one that comes up a lot. I feel like Thanatos, Death, Horseman of Death, just these general death kind of gods are going to show up quite a bit. Da Vinci versus Thanatos. Aleister Crowley versus Baron Samedi. Abraham Van Helsing versus Tyr. Romulus versus Ishtar. Houdini versus Anancia. I think that's how you say it. Doc Holliday versus Artemis. Interesting. Lancelot versus Asmodeus. Joan of Arc versus Athena. Joan of Arc feels going to be one that comes up a lot. Cuchulainn. Oh, does this predate Apocalypse of the Gods versus Horus. Vlad versus Helios. King Solomon versus Lucifer. That person's name is Longtool2099. Great one. Okay, we have the name now. I think this here is a pretty... There's a nice range in gods. It still feels Ragnarok because there's multiple Greek gods. But unlike Ragnarok, there's actually some female fighters, which is pretty good. I like how there's some Rome thing in. I think there's some Babylonia, which I quite like. I just like the general feel of this one. So, as our first one, we are ranking. I guess the best way to do this would probably be to do that. And then, look at that. Look at my great skills, Photoshop skills. Okay, so, these are our tiers. We have, I don't know what just happened then. We have the Salt Frog tier, the Ares tier, the Gull tier, the like sad Susanoo Crow tier, and Ebasu's Fish Gun tier. Now, I'm not going to say what any of these mean. Maybe there isn't a ranking at all. But this definitely, I think, fits into a Susanoo Sad Crow tier. So that is where it's going to go. Around Kira, Skeletal Rose. I think that's just his name. Delete my old one. I saw myself flash by. Reading time with Seth for the next hour. It's going to be fun. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of me reading. I'll try to make reactions more fun. Sorry, just 1 minute, guys. Sorry. Who is Doc Holliday? Doc Holliday was like a Wild West bandit who was also a dentist or something like that, if I remember correctly. Okay, cool. So, next up is Round Kira, aka Skeletor's Rose. I don't know if you've put another roster in later on, or if it's just this what you've expanded at all. Let me have a quick look-see. Don't want to like... I know some people have put like refines their ones. Some of the matchup... Does the matchup look different? I'm going to rank your second thing just on the account that's probably the more refined one. Again, Realist Middle, have you got a more refined one? Again, I should have sorted these out beforehand. This is kind of like on me, I must admit. Okay, cool. So you've done a more refined one as well. Okay, so let's save them. Again, I probably should have put like a cutoff, but like I knew a lot of people have put stuff in here beforehand anyway. Candy, I know, has done a better one later on. Rankira, I know you've done one later on. Okay, whoever the C is, 1 minute. Let me let this cat in. Quickly. Okay, disorganized stream is gonna go ahead. I'll probably be about a 3-hour stream, let's be honest. Nah, we got this. It's not going to be that long. Can we have an award for the most niche god/figure? Yeah, definitely, yeah. Let's find some gods that I don't know. Okay, so whoever this C person is, I haven't seen them again, so we're just going to assume this is a roster. If you are in chat, C ... then make yourself known, but if not, let's have a read. Saitama versus 4, the strongest man versus the strongest god. I like the 4 upscale. Volond is a pair of gloves. Yeah, I don't think Saitama needs any more than some hands. Yujiro Hanma versus Zeus, the ogre versus the godfather of the cosmos. Volond's strength enhancer. Don't know if Yujiro needs a strength enhancer, to be honest with you. Makato Yuki versus Poseidon. The most human man versus the god of gods. Volond Evoker. Bruce Wayne versus Heracles. The Batman versus the hero of the god. The Batman. That's his. Batman's title is the Batman versus the hero of the gods. His Volond is his batsuit. Senku versus Shiva. Dr. Stone versus Destroyer. Volond a mobile science lab. That could be cool. Because Tesla goes into it, and yeah, Tesla's smart and all, but everything he's already done beforehand and prepped in his suit. But if Senku was doing it on the fly ahead of time, as the fight's going on, adapting as we're going, that could be really fun. Buddha versus Hirofuku, that one just tastes the same. I love that. Goldie Roger versus Hades, the Pirate King versus the King of the Underworld. His Volond is Ace. Oh. It only makes me because there's the bit quite early on where Hades starts laughing at Chin and Chin joins in. Just imagine that, but with the Roger he laughed panel. Hajime Hinata versus Beelzebub. Ultimate Hope versus the King of the Flies. His Volond is a backpack that generates weapons plus items. I guess a bit like Jax. Yoriichi versus Susanoo, the greatest demon slayer versus the greatest god slayer. Volond a katana. That's just I'm just trying to think that could be such a. I was thinking that'd be such a cool choreography between two swordsmen, but we kind of got Evocator anyway. First one I don't know. Sarasa versus Anubis. Oh, Bayonetta. It's Bayonetta. Okay, that makes sense. Bayonetta versus the God of Death. Volond, some bloody Bayonetta thing. Belos versus Loki. His Volond magic runes. Oh, yeah. The Witch Hunter versus Deceiver. Rex from Xenoblade versus Odin. Master Driver versus Widest God. Volond, pair of swords. Overall, a pretty sick matchup. By the way, Makoto is Persona character. Yeah, I don't know much about Persona, but one of my friends cosplays Makoto, so I do know who it is. I'd say that there was a pretty fun roster. I think it's quite fun when it's got the gods from Ragnarok from the actual series. Only because you can already kind of from a storytelling standpoint kind of compare already. I was just. What are you doing this for, Gimp? Why are you being a pain like this? What I probably should have done was had all these profile pictures done ahead of time. That would have been the smart thing to do, wouldn't it? But, we work with what we've got to work with. Now, if I'm thinking about this, pretty solid, some really interesting matchups. I'm going Ares here. Again, you guys don't know what any of this means, but I do, and that's the important part. Dofi, have you put anything else? Let's have a look. Let's just get faster here. Nope. I'm seeing some long ass paragraphs. Dofi has another one there. So I'm going to assume that's the one that we're going to be. I'm going to just do everyone's most anyone's basically most recent roster basically is probably what we're going to go with. And Dofi has a more recent one. Malik doesn't have one, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, not that I can see. So, we should be pretty good to go and rank Malik's one, which is Record of Ragnarok Marvel Edition, which sounds pretty goddamn cool. When they said, so starting off with 4 from Marvel, for a minute I read that as 4 versus 4. I was like, yeah, that'd be pretty funny. Red Hawk, is this you? Oh, brilliant stuff. I know you said earlier that you've done the Marvel roster, but like I didn't want to like assume that only one person could do a Marvel thing, as Wade is my profile picture. And I cannot see these pictures at all. They're too small. But, very cool. So 4 from Marvel versus Zeus. Battle of the Gods of Thunder would be a Buddha situation where Thor fights for humanity against his father's wishes. I can see that. Are we like... Well, that's an interesting thing. Is it like the Marvel versions of the gods? Or like the... is it like Marvel's version of Zeus? And like Marvel's version of Odin and stuff? Just a general question. Because I think that could have that could be really interesting if it's like Thor is like literally fighting against the rest of the Asgardians, basically. Like he's gone to the other side of them. Because I generally know most mythologies do tend to exist in Marvel, basically. So yeah, he would fight against his father's wishes in round 1 as well, which is pretty insane. Oh, so it is the Marvel version of them. Okay, cool. I'm familiar with like the Greek and Norse characters, Marvel-wise. I've not... I read... And some of the Egyptian stuff, because I've read some Moon Knight stuff. But I guess even in the Moon Knight stuff, it's unclear if any of the Egyptian gods are even real or not in that. Like, I know they are real, but like in a lot of the Moon Knight stories, it's made unclear. But okay. Iron Man versus Hephaestus, Greek god. God of the Forge versus the man forged in iron. I think that would be... Sorry, I'm just thinking, like, imagine, like, the beginning of the match where, like, Tony Stark, like, walks in, no armor. Hephaestus walks in, no armor. And then, like, they both, like, armor up at the same time right at the beginning, and that's start the match. That'd be sick as hell. 4 versus 4 is the best. 4 wins. yeah. 4 would win the 4 versus 4 fight. Ghost Rider versus Yama. Bringers of punishment and justice. I don't know how strong Yama is in Marvel, but it's Ghost Rider, so Ghost Rider probably just solos with one penance there. I guess it's possible Yama's done nothing wrong ever, I guess. Doctor Doom versus Odin. Battle of the all-powerful Sorcerer Kings. Connection is to kings driven to evil by the loss of their loved ones. Doom is mom and Odin his sons. Loki dies early, making Odin start Ragnarok. Oh, so Loki's dead, and that's like the prompt for this. Doctor Doom versus Odin. Well, that's a hard one. Like, Odin Force Odin is a monster, but like Doctor Doom like can get like OP levels of strong depending on the storyline from a power standpoint. But like Doctor Doom is like one of the biggest haters in comics, so that's pretty funny. I do think the idea of them both being like, because they're both like at heart, like even though they make mistakes, both of them do generally have the best intentions of their people ahead of them. Crazy if you move over the images, it's revealed all the tiers are F tier because they're not a 7 rock. Also got a lot. I got a great idea. Musk versus Loki, the battle of the ultimate frauds. That's pretty funny. Thanos versus Hel. I think a cool backstory is to have Hel be the Lady Death used to love. Yeah, like I remember like back before Ragnarok came out, for Ragnarok, where there was a lot of theories that maybe Hel was going to be the stand-in for Death, but obviously they didn't Infinity War didn't use like Thanos' being in love with Death at all. Like it never was a thing that mattered at all in the MCU. But Hel would have been a cool one. Thanos Hel, awesome idea. Could Thanos bring himself to fight Death? I don't know. Would he like willingly let himself die? Would he like let himself die in it? The Hulk versus Atlas, the battle of the strongest. You know, I think Hulk's probably gonna come out on top because it's the Hulk. But like, yeah, but like anything where like Hulk. Like, Atlas isn't just strength. Atlas is also like stamina, like what Atlas represents. So it'd be a battle of pure attrition. And so the longer the fight goes on, the angrier the Hulk gets and the stronger he gets. It'd be like a really interesting, fun fight like that. Iron Fist versus Dragon King. Dragon of Kunlun versus the Dragon of Myth. I love me some Iron Fist. Yeah, awesome stuff. He built it in a cave with a box of scraps. Oh god, imagine for the Iron Man Hephaestus fight, they both walk in no armor, and just in the middle, the arena itself is a forge with like armor pieces, and so they have to build their armor like like, I don't think it would work because Hephaestus is still a god and we're probably just like one shot like Tony, but like imagine if they have to like build their armor like as they're fighting. That'd be sick as hell. We still got definitely Agatha show. I haven't actually watched the Agatha show yet. I really goddamn I haven't watched Agatha and I haven't watched the Marvels. I need to watch both of them. Like yeah, I'm behind MCU wise watching them, and Daredevil. I haven't started watching new Daredevil show yet. It's because like I hadn't been catching up with Invincible, so I was like, okay, I'm already like 6 episodes behind Invincible, so I'll probably catch up that before I start watching Daredevil. So I've now caught up to Invincible, so now I need to watch the first 2 episodes. Yeah, so I haven't done that yet. Professor X versus Ares, the strongest pacifist versus the war god. I don't know about Professor X being the strongest pacifist, because Professor X has done some pretty insane shit before, but you know what it is. But yeah, I get the thought behind it. Magic versus Satan. Anything with magic in is just awesome, because magic is the GOAT. Magic, if I remember right, was trapped in hell during her youth. I think she was trapped in some kind of demon dimension. I'm not sure if it was straight hell or not. It is funny though, because like Magic's mutant power is making these portals to like the hell dimensions, but like her general fighting style is just magic, just like unrelated to her mutant ability at all. She just generally uses magic a lot. She was trapped in her youth, so maybe they could have had prior history. Yeah, Magic vs Satan could be awesome. It wouldn't surprise me if they met before. Moon Knight versus Khonshu. This is a matchup packed of history. Yeah. And yeah, Moon Knight versus Khonshu coming to blows would be awesome. You could have them come into blows over like how best to protect them. Again, I'm not the most well versed in Moon Knight. I've read some Moon Knight comics, but not like a massive amount. It wouldn't surprise me if these two have like been against each other. Also not being annoying, but have you ranked by mini roster, or is that not cool? I can. I was trying to rank everyone's like finalized roster. Joel Boy, if you have a smaller roster that we've gone past that you want us to rank, yeah, that's fine. It's completely fine. What is your... Okay, yeah, you've got the same name. Okay, we'll go back and do your mini roster next. Sorry, I didn't want to make sure we were ranking like unrefined versions, basically. And lastly, Spider-Man versus Wiro. Most pure of you. Oh yeah. I know the one you mean. Most pure of humanity versus the most evil of the gods. Yeah, I was just doing something in my head. Yeah, that could be really fun too. Actually, really proud of this. I don't know much about real world figures, but I know shit ton of comics. You probably know more about Marvel comics than I do. But this seems like pretty awesome. I'd say my favourite here, Iron Man versus I just think could be awesome. Doctor Doom versus Odin, I love for the thematic elements. I think that fight could be awesome. Hulk versus Atlas is probably really cool for just the just like the spectacle of it. Magic vs Satan I really like as a lot. Iron Fist with Dragon King's awesome too. Just a general like really solid roster. Solid enough that it will go in. Let's go with... Again, probably should have sorted this out beforehand, but I'm going to give this a... I think this is going in the Salt Frog tier. Again, you guys don't know what the tiers mean, but you know, you guys don't need to know what the tiers mean. So we want that. And then that. Okay, so scrolling back up, we wanted to do Joel Boy's like mini one, which was somewhere. Have we gone past it, or is it? We might not have got to it actually. Then, have we not got to it, or is it? Or is it this small one here? Confirm or not? I'll read some comments. Yeah, is it this one here? The Saitama versus Manhattan Kamigawa Loki one. Doom would see Reed in the crowd rooting with him and start gloating about him being chosen instead of Reed. Honestly, like, I was talking to a friend about this, like, who was, like, the biggest hater in comics, and, like, Doom's up there for, like, one of the biggest haters. Like, you can't deny it. But then, like, we started, like, talking about Reverse Flash, and it's just, like, it's not even close. It is just Reverse Flash. For those who don't know, like, how much of a hater the Reverse Flash is, not only did he go back in time to kill the Flash's mum and frame his dad for it so that he grew up an orphan, not only did he do that just out of pure spite, he then just spent, like, Barry's whole childhood just fucking with him. Like, every time, like, Barry tried to get, like, I think, like, Barry's trying to get, like, ask a girl out and, like, Reverse Flash messed it up, or he just pushed him down the stairs once, or he, like, opened the door so, like, Barry's, like, pet dog, like, ran out and got hit by a car. He literally erased Barry's best friend from existence just so that he'd have no friends as a kid. And the most, like, insane thing he does is, I'm pretty sure it's during Flashpoint, I think, where Barry's talking to Reverse Flash, and Reverse Flash basically says, I'm going to go back in time again, kill your mum again, but this time, I'm going to pose as, like, a social worker and adopt you so I can be your abusive dad. Like, Reverse Flash wanted to become Barry's abusive dad just to abuse him. It's just unreal. Like, he's such a hater. It's so funny. Anyway, to get to Joel Boy's thing. Saitama versus Dr. Manhattan. How would that even go down? Like, would Saitama just one-shot? Like, it depends which version of Dr. Manhattan we're taking. Like, if it's, like, just general Watchmen one, like, Saitama probably, like, one-shots him. But if it's, like, current DC Dr. Manhattan, yeah, probably, yeah, but, like, Saitama's Dr. Manhattan's really fun, because maybe you could have it, like, Manhattan, like, because it can't be, like, physically damaged by, like, by Saitama, like he reforms or something, maybe. Kamigawa versus Loki. Well, we know Loki wins this because Kamigawa is the ultimate loser. But, like, Kamigawa versus Loki, like, the energy between, like, two, like, kind of characters like that would be awesome. Grim Reaper versus Dante. Yeah, just awesome. We already discussed that a bit earlier, but, like, that could be a really fun one. Denji versus Kratos. Kratos just get real angry. I just get real angry. But Denji Kratos is sick. And Kanata versus Apollo. No, I love Kanata. I love Apollo. So I don't see much issue with that. My idea for Kanata vs. Apollo is that a woman who loves the art of manga faces the god of art. And the themes will be art. And Kanata's Valon could be a manga where she could pull things out. That is such an awesome idea. That is really cool. Yeah, because Apollo is god of art as well. Yeah, that's really fun. I like that a lot. Yeah, that's a pretty sick roster. Honestly. I love me some Reverse Flash. Reverse Flash is like one of my favourite comic characters just of all time. He's just such a mad lad. And the worst thing about Reverse Flash is again, it depends on which continuity you're going to, but like generally, his grudge with the Flash is kind of just like, he's just kind of jealous of him. Like, he's from like 300 years in the future. He doesn't even know the guy personally. He's that much of a hater. I'm going to give Joel Boy's mini one into the gold tier. Again, you don't know what that means. We need to go there and then there. Cool. So back to where we were at. We've got H-Mans. And I assume this is their most recent one. Yeah, because we're into like the proper big rosters now. So assume from here on, everything's going to be the big boys. Bro, the start of season 2 of Invincible turned me off so hard. I can't even remember what the start of season 2 of Invincible is. What happens in season 2 of Invincible? I was gonna Google it, but like, don't want to derail the stream anymore. I can't remember what happens in season 2. I think one issue with Invincible is season 1 is amazing. Like, season 1's great. I think season 1 is just a lot better than the comics in terms of the adaptation. I'd personally argue season 2 and 3 are on par, if not worse, than the comics. Depends on like how you think. But I think season 1 is just a genuine improvement. But the thing with season 1 is it's basically one storyline. It's one through line where it's all leading up to the confrontation between Mark and Nolan, where that's like the whole season's building to it, and even all the mini arcs, elements of it place things on like Mark coming to understand his powers and like his place as a Viltrumite stuff. Like, there's season 1 will build to something. Season 2 doesn't do that. Only because of the way the comics are written. The comic isn't written in these big season-long story arcs. The Nolan and Mark stuff, that's written as like one big thing. But like, yeah, Angstrom is like the end of season 2 and they kind of build up to it a little bit. But like, it's not really an overarching big bad. And same with season 3, where like the Invincible War wasn't even like the last episode. It was like the second to last episode. And we barely built up to that big event. And then we've just got... tomorrow's like the final, we've got Conquest in it, and again, like, there's not really much build up to Conquest, so it just kind of feels like it's not like got these long story arcs that go across seasons, so it makes the whole seasons feel a little more disjointed. Season 2 and 3. He once moved Barry's arm to show he'd miss a catch in baseball. He did do that. Yeah, he just fucked with him. I'd say the biggest literal hater is the Saint of Killers. He throws hell of his hate and was thus made the new Angel of Death. Okay, that is some pretty big hating. Who else? Lex Luthor I'd throw into the big hating camp too. Man's a big hater too. It was us, Seth. We got your friend to see the body pillow, to buy the body pillow for you, so he'll buy it for you to be embarrassed in stream. Wait, what? It would be Saitama versus Boros, but if Boros was dead inside. Saitama can't break in imaginary spaces. Saitama can break in imaginary spaces. To an extent, yeah, but like some of the feats Manhattan has in the comics are just absolutely bonkers. You could definitely like scale him to like probably like I've seen some people wank him to outer. I wouldn't go that far, but like I guess there is themes for it. By the way, I think I like Denji vs Percy a lot more than Denji vs Kratos now. Yeah, Denji vs Percy sounds fun. Konosuba could also be fun with how much of a troll she is, kind of like Loki. Yeah, she is a top tier troller. We erased the body pillar out of existence, but you still remember it's not over a picture of Schizo. That'd be like the worst. That'd be like the worst punishment. That should be awful. Oh, is Gaul mid tier? Or I'm not saying what Gaul. I'm not saying what any of the tiers mean. Maybe the tiers don't mean anything. Maybe I'm just gaslighting you into thinking they mean something. Maybe I don't know. Gaul is best girl though. Just saying, but you know. Can we just pick up portals and move them over like they're rugs? Yeah, I'm not getting into like how we want to scale Saitama because like it's hard to do. I'm glad you seem to like my roster, especially Contra vs Apollo. I do like Contra vs Apollo is my favorite in fighting that matchups. Start season 2 has so much negativity; they just don't care a lot about the characters. Well, season 2 having so much negativity kind of makes sense given the ending of season 1. But not caring about the characters, I definitely agree with. I don't find the new Guardians particularly compelling. I think Rex grows on you. So I think Rex grows on me, where I find Rex compelling by the end of season 3. I don't find Immortal particularly compelling. I don't find Duplicate particularly compelling. Shapesmith I don't mind. I found his art kind of cool. Black Samson just like doesn't do anything. Bulletproof doesn't do anything. Monster Girl and Rudy's stuff I like. But I feel that's the kind of thing where like in season 1, when it isn't a Mark or a Nolan thing, it doesn't seem anywhere near as important. So it kind of feels like all the other stuff is just like not that, like all the Guardian stuff doesn't feel important because we know the main plot is about the Viltrumite stuff. So them not like having their own like the bit with the Lizard League. I love the Lizard League, but like the Lizard League stuff wasn't particularly compelling when we were also having episodes of Nolan and Mark fighting Viltrumites on Fraxon. So, you know, I just think it's an issue of having really cool stuff happening and then like stuff that in comparison isn't as cool. Like the Guardians, I don't know. Like, I don't know, they don't do anything in the story, so why do they even have screen time? Yeah, exactly. It was us, Seth. We make the cat nag you every stream. The cat does nag me every stream. On the sides of my feet's out of date because of the rewrite of the arc. Some of them are. Like, him moving portals isn't, because that comes from the Garo fight. But, like, him, like, catching the sword is, I guess. Immortal is such a fraud, let's be honest. Immortal is such a fraud. It's unreal. The thing is, like, Immortal, like, gets presented as, like, the strongest hero apart from Omni-Man. But I'm like, when all the marks came over, Immortal got his head ripped off. Bloody Tech Jacket managed to take out a Viltrum, one of the marks. Like, multiple heroes. Bloody, what's his name? Power Packs took out a mark variant, and Omni-Man couldn't. Omni-Man's such a fraud. Not Omni-Man, sorry. Immortal's such a fraud, it's unreal. Goatsplode is goated. Yeah, Goatsplode is goated. Imagine being so bad that even Yamcha's better W's than you. Homelander versus Najami from Mataga Box. The man who saw himself as God versus the God who became human. I don't think Homelander would stand a chance. Homelander's funny though, because Homelander in power scaling is like, everyone can beat Homelander because he's so goddamn weak. Samson hasn't done anything despite him getting his powers back. What was the point? Yeah, Samson does nothing. Bulletproof doesn't either. But I would agree he does better than Immortal. Tech Jacket took out 2 marks in the comics. Yeah, Tech Jacket, like, really... I mean, Tech Jacket had to, like, blow their, like, suit up to take out the 2 marks, I guess. But let's remember, in the comics, Omni-Mark, like, the mark that killed Omni-Man, he got taken up by a Yo-Yo in the comics. Like, Yo-Yo took him out. It's very funny. It's very funny stuff. In the show, they've made him more strong because, like, in theory, he should be maybe Sinister Mark stronger, but he should be the strongest of the marks of the variants, considering he killed Omni-Man. But yeah, he gets done dirty in the comics. They did cut Spawn out of the show though. We see Spawn in the comics. I think they switched it to Wolfman. Anyway, we talked about Invincible too much. We got to actually rank these. So Babe Ruth versus Ares. Both of these are missed potential in Record Ragnarok. Babe, despite being a fighter, was completely cut off from the manga. Very true. Now we can get to see one of the all-time greats, and a reason why many players dedicate their lives to sport to go up against the greatest challenger man can be given. I don't know if Ares is the greatest challenger man can be given, but sure. Ares has been a commentator for the gods of war, and that's just unacceptable. Now he will show both the gods, the humans, and the gods the horrors of war. You know me, I love any Ares upscale. As long as Ares keeps his personality, I'm all for it. Equipment, the perfect bat, constructed of all the research scientists have done over generations of batters. Perfect weight, perfect grip, perfect durability. Made even more deadly in Mr. Roof's hands. If the unfortunate gets a damage or Mr. Roof's press of a hidden button, a perfected baseball released from the top of the bat. That just sounds awesome. Ruthless, a state of pure rage where he sees, smells, hears, nor feels anything else but his target. With the seeing thing, it already sounds like we're getting another human eye ability. He can still taste. This state only lasts 4 seconds at most, but can be used in succession at risk of damaging your body. So it's a bit like a Kaioken, basically. 3 strikes and you're out. After landing 3 consecutive blows, the 4th will be delivered with the combined force of the previous 3. Oh, that could be awesome, though, because, like, it'd be like... Yeah, because, like, it'd be like Ares has to, like, work out the pattern. And once he's worked the pattern out, he's like, okay, I see what's going on now. And then he has to, like, stop it. Stop the 2, basically. Stop it before it happens. Homer, the strongest swing Babe can use. Though fast and lighter, he's never been able to use this move. Everything his swing would break against the sound barrier. That's all, like Ragnarok's his final chance to actually use this move. Nothing can handle his strength in his life, but in death that changed. The bat can handle the attack, but no more than 2. Oh, that could be cool. Like, he uses 1, and you expect the match to end, and it turns out Ares managed to survive it. And then it's basically like, for the rest of the match, he's like, I can only use this 1 more time, and it becomes make or break. I don't know who wins this fight, but it would be the make or break, where if he doesn't manage, he could land it and win, but if he lands it and it doesn't, like, factor, then he's lost, basically. Foul ball, his absolute last resort technique, used only when everything else has failed. By throwing the perfect baseball wherever strength remained, Babe can ignite the small spear, piercing and burning anything in its path. This just sounds awesome. Sword, shield, helmet, spear, and cape. Each piece of equipment can shift their shape into another weapon of war. So he's got multiple weapons for like multiple situations. That's awesome. So the sword to gauntlet, knife, night vision goggles, crossbow, tazar, metal armor, etc. They're all constantly changing to change the tide of war. Oh, that's really, really, really sick. Battlefield. By channeling his godly energy and then releasing it, he can change the surrounding area's gravity to that of Mars, like the planet. That's awesome. Disorientating his opponent with the change that he is used to, allowing him to land critical hits. Blitzkrieg. Channeling the power inherited from his father, Ares can summon multiple powerful and destructive lightning storms, and he is unable to control their strike, however. That could be sick, though, because, he doesn't know where the lightning's going to strike, but Babe Ruth, because he has his Ruthless, where, I guess that only affects his target, but, maybe something like with his heightened senses, because he's so used to predicting where the ball will go, he can even predict where the lightning's going to land, or something like that. World War, his ultimate form. The entire history of war is condensed and shaped into one being. Whatever poor soul witnessed this form will experience every conflict that's ever happened from all sides. They will be the victim's victim and witness all at once. So it's a bit like Gojo's Unlimited Void, but just war. This is instantaneous and unavoidable. So long as the opponent can see or hear World War, Ares can see or hear World War Ares. Ares cannot remain in this form for more than a few seconds because he's also affected by this war. So it kind of feels like he's got his World War, which is like his final, So they both have their final big attacks that they can only use a certain amount of times, but could guarantee the win. This is really cool. Did you have other stuff, H-Man, or is it just this one matchup? Because this one matchup was awesome. I think it's just the one matchup, but that one matchup is just awesome. I really like that a lot. I will get back to chat once I've quickly added this, but I really like that. Obviously, you've gone into way more detail than anyone else so far has on a spear matchup. But in terms of a specific one specific fight so far, it's probably my favorite all stream. Only because the way you've given the abilities and how they almost match up to each other. I'm gonna give this a Salt Frog. I can envision how the match would go, and I think it's really cool. So yeah, big props to that. I think that's awesome. So the next one would be Realist Needles. But before that, let's quickly catch up to chat. I get the season 2 will start off with negativity, but my brother, give us some hope to cling to. I mean, we do get hope-ish. We get... I don't know, I have to rewatch season 2. I'm pretty sure there's some hopeful bits somewhat early on, but I kind of get what you mean. Best thing about Denji versus Percy is that Denji has a found family with power, Aki and Nayata, while Percy is tied to his blood family, aka Poseidon. Oh, that could be quite cool. Yeah, I can see that, especially with how Denji is. I can definitely see how Denji himself would talk about stuff like that. Fraud Mortal can beat Homelander. Yeah, Fraud Mortal can beat my Homelander. Yeah, that shows how weak Homelander is, doesn't it? With Denji having a blood theme and Percy controlling blood, it could literally be blood thicker than water. Oh, that's awesome. Omnimark looks the coolest. Love his hair. Omnimark does look cool. My favourite's probably Hoodmark. I really like. I like Hoodmark. Vilgemite Prison Mark. What the hell's even going on with that guy? Why does he look like that? I know he's been tortured for a year, but dear lord. Which other ones are pretty cool? Omni. I still think Omni Invincible, whatever he's called, is pretty. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Don't you mean Cape Vincible? I don't know which one's Cape Vincible. Is that Sinister Mark? I know that I think Cape Vincible is Sinister Mark. Yeah. Yes, Sinister Mark. Yeah, because we know in the show, I think it's stated that Sinister Mark, or Cape Vincible, and Omnimark are the only two that killed Omni-Man. I think. Pretty sure that's how it... I think they're the only two that were said to have killed Omni-Man. I think. Let me have a look. I know in the comics, it's just Cape Vincible, I'm pretty sure. I don't know what the actual name is this, guys. Yeah. Because I know Cape Vincible's meant to be the strongest version of them, well, at least in the comics. An Ares fan, you say, you will love my roster. Are we getting more Ares? Hell yeah. By the way, Seth, do you have Blue Sky? I do not have Blue Sky. Ares, I understand it now. Ares is basically the Dragon Warrior. Also, Quantum vs. Apollo should have a moment where Konata's friend is in the crowd and their dead mum also appears as a spirit. What? I guess, yeah, you could have it. It's just like, whoa, you could have dead mums here, but yeah. Okay, I have to go now. Take up my laundries now. Okay, have a good one, man. Hope you enjoyed the stream. How long do you think the stream will be? Probably another hour, I guess. We'll see. It's until we get through it, basically. I just finished my roster and it only goes to round 6 and doesn't go into detail. Don't worry, man. We will get to it and it will be good. So, Realist Meadles, a classic of the streams. With their one. And round 1 is Count Saint Germain, the man who achieved godhood through mortal means, versus Coyote. Just saying, anyone who's got Coyote in their rosters, big fan. I think Coyote should have been Ragnarok, it would have been awesome. The god who humbles those who get out of line. Germain's ability is alchemy and elemental magic. His Vlond is a cane sword. Coyote's ability, illusions, animal transformation, duplication, enlargement of body parts. Pretty cool. Number 2, Honda Tadakatsu, who was really cool in history. The samurai who surpassed death versus Abaddon the Destroyer. Anything but Abaddon's probably cool. So Honda's ability would be to harden his body, skin and muscle, hard as diamonds. And his Volond is Tonobokiri, the dragonfly cutter, which I imagine is a pretty cool sword. Abaddon with his hellfire and locusts. Oh, you're going to Abaddon, you're doing like the pure like plague aspect too. That's pretty cool. And Abaddon has a halberd. Bruce Lee. We all love some Bruce Lee. Greatest martial artist below the heavens. Below the heavens. Versus Zenwu, greatest martial artist in the heavens. Those titles are awesome. Bruce Lee's ability, Breath of the Dragon, like the Awakening Breath from One Punch Man. That's pretty cool. Volond, Fingerless Gloves. Zenwu, Chi Manipulate. Chi Manipulation. So, like, is he going to be manipulating Bruce Lee's Chi? You could either where he's tries to manipulate, like, Bruce Lee's Chi, and he's like, because he's such a great martial artist, he's got full control of his Chi. So he's like, you're a worthy martial artist. Or maybe it's a thing where, like, Bruce Lee is so great without even understanding his chi. And so, like, throughout the match, like, he learns to use his own chi and just, like, overwhelms Zenwu, like, his own game or something. Lug, God of Oaths versus Guy Fawkes, the Catholic rebel. Guy Fawkes' ability, the Fire of Rebellion. Manipulates fire through his sword. Sets gunpowder in the arena to explode. That'd be awesome. Like, yeah. If you're going to do Guy Fawkes, you have to have, like, the gunpowder explosion. Lug ability, light manipulation, and he has a Spear of Assault. Number 5, William Marshall, the greatest symbol of chivalry, versus Takemiza. I know how to say this. Takemi Kazuchi, because he's in Seven Rock at one point. The embodiment of Bushido. William Marshall ability, Gastavianda, increased strength as the fight goes on. Avalond is arming sword. Thunderous presence, enhanced defensive capabilities. I think that could be so cool from just a swordplay aspect. H.P. Lovecraft versus Morpheus, the god of dreams and nightmares. Lovecraft's ability is Book of Horrors, able to bring his creation to life at the cost of his own sanity and his Valkyrie sanity. So he's just going insane during the match. And his Volond is the Necronomicon. And Morpheus' ability, Waking Nightmare, able to bring nightmares to reality, but must stay in meditation state that leaves him vulnerable to attacks. So it's almost like just like two sides of just nightmarish creatures fighting each other. 7, Billy the Kid versus Hachiman, God of the 8 Banners. Billy the Kid's ability, Deadeye. Obviously we need some eye abilities. Valon, dual Colt revolvers. And Hachiman has Eagle Eye, and he's got a bow. So it basically just be like a sniping match, basically. 1 minute, cat. So you come on quickly. Okay, let's get. Okay, so Achilles, the invincible Myrmidon, however you say it, or Erlang versus Erlang Shen, the three-eyed sage. Achilles is just invincible, as you'd expect. Oh no, so Achilles is. Just imagine it's just flashed up the invincible thing there. Erlang's ability is the third eye, allows Shen to access his magic and 72 transformations and amplifies his power and his weapon is the 3-pointed spear. That could be pretty cool, especially like, yeah, because he's gonna have to use. So it'd be almost about like how Erlang needs to like bypass Achilles' invincibility, and maybe the third eye like lets him do that. Ramses, the Great King of Kings versus the Jade Emperor. That just sounds like a sick like kingship fight basically. Ramses has the Imperial Sun, gains 50% of strength and power through sunshine. Oh, cool. So like the Jade Emperor might like find a way to like block out the sun or something. The Jade Emperor has the heavenly authority of gravity manipulation. Yeah, you could probably work away like that to help like him like get the sun out or something. Ragnar Lothbrok, the Great Viking, Beast of the North, versus Mars, General of the Heavenly Legions. Ragnar has raw natural strength, rivaling Lubu. I assume he'd have like a berserker state or something as well. Mars has avenging bloodlust. Heart pumps so fast it ignites the blood in his body into fire. That sounds awesome. Edward Teach, Blackbeard versus Charon, the ferryman. Blackbeard's ability, Heart of the Sea, allows full control over the ship. So he's got like, I assume he's got, and he's Volondes, the Queenstown Revenge. So he just like, full on just has a ship. So I assume it'd be like in a water arena, I guess. And Charon's ability, soul summoning, coin manipulation, yeah, makes sense. Cain, as I said, he'd be in here a few times, I imagine, versus Set. First Murder versus God of Disorder. Cain's ability, Mark of Cain, amplified attacks after being harmed by opponents. And he's got his sickle, his farming sickle. And Set has sand manipulation. Well, that could be cool. I guess you want an arena with some sand in it then. And then 13, lastly, Samuel Winston, or Uncle Sam, versus Erebus, the Primordial Darkness. Uncle Sam's ability, Strength for the Nation, Empowered of History of Liberty, Freedom and Patriotism in the USA. Valon, good old-fashioned American muscles. Also, he's got Superman syndrome. So Samuel Wilson, Uncle Sam's just throwing hands. And Erebus, darkness and shadow manipulation creation. Ability to manifest weapons from darkness and shadow. So it's just going to be like Sam just like brute forcing through like Erebus' stuff. And I imagine Erebus like physically isn't as strong. So they got to rely on their shadows a bit. Special arenas. 16th century London. I assume. So 16th century London, I assume, is for Guy Fawkes. Maybe. Yeah, probably. Bunker Hill. That's Billy the Kid, right? River Styx would be Ragnar Lothbrok. Where is he? Teacher's one. Maybe the Old West would then be. What is Billy the Kid? Maybe. Japanese. Yeah. So quite some cool ones. So that was Realist Meal. I think that was pretty goddamn cool. An hour is not enough to get through them all. We will get through them, don't worry. I just had a realization. Spider-Man versus Mephisto. Spider-Man versus Mephisto. There's some history there. Spider-Man versus goddamn Mephisto. But yeah, if you're going with the theme of like the best of humanity versus like the worst of the gods, yeah, pretty fitting. He's a very big piece of shit. Good old Mephisto. Realist Meal, I would put this. I'd say that's probably a Susanoo Crow. Susanoo Crow tier. I'd say. Jack Kirby would be a neat contender. Yeah, Jack Kirby would be awesome. Okay, so next up we have Blue D Stone, with their first round being Genghis Khan versus Athena, and the theme is war, and what is it good for? I guess, yeah, they're both really like they're very, very like pro-war type characters, aren't they? Weapons, spear for Athena, and a scimitar for Genghis Khan, and Athena ends up winning. So maybe you could have like Genghis Khan's more like war for like the sake, like he's like war for pleasure, like for the sake of war, and Athena's war for like kind of like an ends justify the means kind of thing. Moses versus Loki, regretful brothers. Weapon, dagger for Loki, staff granted with Kronos/Christian god powers. And the winner's Loki. So I guess it'd be Grateful Brothers. I'm just trying to think of like what themes could there. I'm just trying to think of like what kind of themes could like go into the fight in order to like justify the winner, basically. Anubis versus Jack the Ripper, a bone slide for Anubis, and a blade that allows him to wield the power of blood. Blood powers for Jack would be awesome. Anubis fighting for humanity, however. Oh, so Anubis fights for humans, and Jack like fights for the gods. Maybe like Jack's like, I want like a chance at, I don't know, a chance to murder, and the gods are like, yeah, go ahead. Maybe like Jack, maybe like could have a thing where like Jack's been going around like the heavens, like murdering gods or something, and like the gods like, okay, this guy's so strong he can even kill gods. We might as well get him on our team. Achilles versus Sun Wukong, the curse of immortality. Swords for Achilles and the neon koi, or however you say it, star for Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong winning. It depends what angle you want to go for Achilles, what his weakness is in this, but like that could be really cool. Fenrir versus Odin. That's cool. Is Fenrir fighting for like the humans or something? Prophecies and the consequences of their avoidance. Weapons: a quartz and coal sword for Odin called Hugin, and Munin, and Fenrir has bare fangs. And Fenrir beats Odin. That sounds awesome. Blackbeard versus Poseidon. What would you do for love? Oh, so a cursed ship, pistols and bonds for Blackbeard, and a trident for Poseidon. I'm sure if it's something to do with love, you've got some kind of thing in mind about like, what the storyline behind that would be. I'd be curious to know what like love. I assume it'd be like their backstories both involve love or something. Jesus versus Zeus, true divinity. Golden lightning bolt for Zeus and pure divine magic for Jesus. Zeus wins. So we got Zeus killing Jesus. Pretty fun, pretty base stuff. Shush, cat. Oh, cat, shush. Look. One of these. Oh, this cat is a pain sometimes. She's old. We can forgive her. Vlad the Impaler versus Thor. Theme becoming the beast you hate. So spears for Vlad, Mjolnir for Thor. I wonder what that could mean. Like, becoming the beast you hate. I'm curious about that. Cain versus Set. Fratricide, yeah. Pretty self-explanatory there. Scepter for Set and an axe for Cain. Winner Cain. Alexander the Great versus Hephaestus. Unstoppable force versus immovable objects. A plethora of weapons for Alex and a mechanical Iron Man suit made by Hephaestus. Winner Alexander the Great. yeah, that could be cool. Like I can see like Alexander like on like a chariot, just like full of weapons, just fighting. Theseus versus how'd you say it? Serenus? I know what you mean. The man versus monster. Hammer for Theseus and a summoning room for and a summoning room. And then Theseus loses. Gunnar Hamadarson. Someone I don't know, I must admit. Versus Maui. Traitors in Exile. A claymore for Gunnar and a fishhook for Maui. Maui's just like, I feel Maui's cool because there's so many different abilities you could give to him. And then lastly, Arthur versus Lucifer. Corrupted good, Lucifer versus Reformed Sin, Arthur. Pitchfork for Lucifer and Excalibur for Arthur. And Arthur wins it, presumably for humanity. There's some really cool matchups here. Some really... Jesus versus Zeus is a bit insane. Like, but I'm all for it. Cat shush. Should I put in my matchups and fighters that didn't make it to my list? You're more than welcome to. Just not sure who he would fight. Maybe a god famous for arts. Yeah, could be. Loki. You. Loki. Loki for Moses and Ramsey. Oh, so okay, yeah. So that's their regretful brothers. If you don't vibe with Saitama versus Manhattan, then Simon from Gurren Lagann versus Manhattan. That would be so cool. Just like, oh, that's just awesome. I love Simon so much, so you know, it's sick as fuck. Okay, anyway, we're ranking Bloody Stones. Awesome thing. I really enjoyed this one. I think some really cool things. I'd love to know more about like some of the like how some of these matches are meant to go, because like from some of the idea of some of the themes posted, like I'd be just very curious to know like how some of them, how they would actually go. I think this is fitting of a. I'd give this one a Susanoo Crow as well. We haven't had an Ebisu fish yet, but we will hopefully change that soon. Jack Kirby versus Janus, the Roman god of gateways. The battle of each of the summoning environments to fight for. That could be cool. I just came back and heard Seth say the most unhinged thing out of context. I don't even know what I would have said. Was it about Zeus versus Jesus or something? You're calling it based. Denji versus Percy would start with Denji not wanting to have anything to do with it, but Brunhild says she'll let him give him a kiss and instantly cuts to Denji entering the match. She offers Gol as the award. Oh no. And Percy is a demigod raised as human, so he could be like Heracles in siding with the gods but wanting humanity to be spared. I think by the end of the book series I can maybe see him doing that. So we've done this one. So we're finally onto a Dofi one. We are getting there. Unfinished. Does that mean Dofi has a finished one? Maybe not. No, doesn't. Okay, cool. So we got rock with this one. God, there's so much more. Oh no, we'll get through it though. Dofi, Lucilfa. Dazai versus Shinigami. I assume it's... Is it Dazai the real person or Dazai from Bungo? No longer human, nullifies all abilities. It could be either, I guess. I don't know. Maybe. Is it the real life one? I don't know. Grants Dazai an increase on all his stats. Also, Suicide grants Dazai an increase on his stats at the cost of 70% of his health. Dear Lord. And Shinigami, Hand of Death, reduces 1 year off the opponent's lifespan if there's physical contact with Shinigami. That'd be really funny because like Dazai's always trying to kill himself. You could like it could be like an insta kill because like he was gonna kill himself the next day or something. Dante versus Hades. Dante's ability, Divine Comedy, Wind Manipulation. Virgil summons a stand named Virgil that attacks the opponent. That's pretty funny actually. Hades' ability, Hellfire, Fire Manipulation, Hellscape, Domain Expansion that surrounds the opponent with a sea of flames. Oppenheimer versus Shiva, I can see where this is going. Nuclear Radius for Oppenheimer unleashes a strong error effects that also poisons the opponent as the match prolongs. I guess it reminds me a little bit of like the Dirty Rose from Hunter. Similar to Chaos but doesn't harm the user and as poison. Self-destruction, nukes the arena and the opponent at the cost of his life. Volond armor, same as Nikola Tesla. And then Shiva has a serious punch on steroids, which is the Fist of Destruction. And the world-ending punch, which is like Whitebeard's Quake Fruit, but on steroids. That sounds pretty cool. Hitler versus Satan. Hitler's abilities, Blitzkrieg, unpredictable barrage of ammunition, all kinds. Mine concentration slugger. I can see what that is. I can guess what that is. His domain expansion, and it's a gas chamber. Interesting, that one. Satan has claws that can cut through anything and a bite that poisons the opponent. Hades versus Hitler versus Satan is unhinged, but like in the best way possible. Oh, that's funny. Will Maui sing a catchy song in his round for his entrance? Probably. I'm working on a Genshin versus Record Ragnarok roster example. Noel versus Poseidon. Noel trains the hardest to be the best knight versus Poseidon, the god who never trains. That sounds like a cool matchup. I've actually been making an audio story about it on my channel. That's Bloodstone. Oh, well, so your matchup, yeah. I even extended Ragnarok by 3 rounds each to a tie. What is your channel name? What is your YouTube channel name? Oh, wait, I'm asking what your channel name is, but it's obviously like your account. Bloodstone the Demon. I will... let me make a note of that on my phone, because I want to check that. Oh, I want to check that out. Bloodstone the Demon. I'll have to check it out. So Dofi we need to rank. So what are we thinking of Dofi's? Hitler vs. Satan is pretty insane. It could be Ebisu Fishgun. Could be. But I'm probably going to put this in gold tier. That's my gut feeling. That's my gut's telling me of where that needs to be ranked. Okay, we have got a essay to read here. Okay. So we've got one left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got 8 more to go. Excellent stuff. Okay, let's power through this. Sorry if I speed read a bit, but like, yeah, I didn't expect that many people to do it, and some of these to be so in detail, and I procrastinated at the beginning of stream too much. But we will try to power through. So for Surly, okay, I mightn't be able to make it to stream tomorrow, but I managed to bunker down and both finalise a roster I'm happy with and write out descriptions of each round. Though I should say that in thinking everything up, I kind of wound up flubbing the rules and coming up with my own take on divine weapons. Fair enough, for humanity instead of Valkyries and Valons. With that said, introducing Surly the Surly's Record of Ragnarok, Echoes of Eschaton. Okay, guys, is everyone ready for this? Should I... Okay, I'll catch up to chat first, because I feel we'll be reading this for a while. Joe Boy, okay, but I have an idea for Conta vs. Apollo ending. Either Conta loses and sees her mum's spirit as she dies, or Apollo dies admitting that Conta's love for manga is the same as his for normal art. Yeah, because manga is the superior artwork. We finally have all of the 4 horsemen in Chainsaw Man. We do. Death is simultaneously what I thought they'd be like, but also nothing like what I thought they'd be like. Reflecting the themes being the meaning of art and life. Hitler vs. Satan is crazy. This is definitely demonetized now. By the way, if Gintoki and Conta meet, they would 100% be good friends. No, 100%. The matchups are a little different to what I put on the chat, and the results are a little different. Okay, fair enough. Well, it keeps us guessing. Average Hunter x Hunter chapter. Damn, is the stream about to be 4 hours long? No, it's not. Trust me. Okay, so round 1. Vlad Tepes versus Huitlacopochtli, however you say it. The first round sees the bloodthirstiest human face, the bloodthirstiest god. An orphaned prince who had to take the throne back from the rest of his family, Dracula gains the abilities of whomever's blood he consumes, having already attained keen senses and superhuman physicality from tasting the blood of men and beasts over his entire life of warfare. In addition, he wields the Spear of Destiny, which can endlessly replicate itself due to itself having been bathed in the blood of Christ. Replicating the miracle of the feeding of the thousands, opposite him is Huitzilopochtli, the blood-fueled sun god who wields the fire-breathing serpent Huitzilopochtli like a weapon, its mouth spewing flames and also catching and igniting Dracula's spear for Huitzilopochtli to fling back. While the 2 greatest warriors of their peoples, what drives them most is for their thirst for blood. For Dracula, it is the gain of his powers for power. For Huitzilopochtli, it is to fuel his own. But for the 2 of them, both it is a twisted commemoration to remember those who they respect. In the climax of their fight, by which point they're both disarmed, Dracula pounces and clings on to Huitzilopochtli, sinking his teeth into his neck, allowing Huitzilopochtli to hold him in place and call down a sunbeam to burn them both. The surviving Huitzilopochtli mourns Dracula by saying there's nothing left to drink from him. Humans versus heavens, 0-1. I think we've got a good taste of like how awesome this round's going to be. But I love this first one. Round 2, Don Quixote versus Anasi, whatever. Quixote, the platonic ideal of a knight in shining armour, brings forth his gallant might against the cunning wit of Anasi, whose arachnid visage he finds repulsive. Over the course of their battle, though, Anasi gains the upper hand, striking the gaps in Quixote's armour. As the tide turns against him, the metaphorical cracks in Quixote's armour break open as well. He collapses into tears, ripping off the helmet to reveal the truth. The whole time he was just a sad old man who let himself get lost in fantasy. His delusion confident his delusional confidence enough to bluster his way into fighting for humanity. Oh, this is awesome. Anansi, however, tells him there's nothing wrong with dreaming, that dreams give people ideals to strive towards, that a goal only becomes unreachable when one gives up. Quixote picks his rapier back up and begins a reinvigorated offensive against Anansi, managing to overwhelm and back him into a corner before coughing up blood and dropping dead. Anansi walks out victorious, knowing Quixote was a dead man walking with the poison he'd inflicted upon him, but still having meant every word of what he'd said, wanting both to bolster humanity's spirit as he truly believes in them, and simply wanting Quixote's last moments to be spent living his dream. That is awesome. That is probably my favourite thing we've matched up this stream. I mean, that's just awesome. Round 3, Joan of Arc versus Cthulhu. Jean faces the endless horrifying mass that is Cthulhu in a forest, using the trees as cover to try and buy time to find a weakness. With sword and shield, she slashes and bashes away, the endless flesh grasping for her, Cthulhu spreading across the land like mould. All this time, his voice drills into her mind that all she ever accomplished in life was dying. The scenery of the forest gives way to a graveyard. As well, Jean persists, having known this was a suicide mission all along. Same as ever, her resolve still wears down. Her faltering will lead to an ill-placed defence that sees her shield shattered, and she's flung to the ground. The flesh coating the forest coalesces into Cthulhu's true form. He taunts her about her miserable, pointless life before going for a finishing blow, only to find Jean's efforts redouble. Instead, now fueled by a fury at the unfairness of a cruel world, now fighting for nothing else but her own survival, her right to live. She actually manages to cleave her way through Cthulhu's defences and impale his heart, only for him to still find his footing and push back. Guess, when it's Cthulhu, I feel just killing the heart's probably not going to do it. Bitterly boasting that he is eternal, that she could never hope to kill him. Once again, though, Jean tells him that she knew that all along. Cthulhu's body starts to be pulled in a direction he wills not, as he only now realises where the battle has taken place. The churchyard that was the site of the sword in the stone, the very sword now in Jean's hands, having led Cthulhu here so that she could place the sword back in the stone and seal him within it. Afterwards she's met by King Arthur, who abdicated both his spot in Eschaton and the sword in the stone to her, knowing Cthulhu would have figured things out sooner were he there instead, but also showing that unity of humanity, placing his faith in a foe of his nation. Is that better than the last one? Possibly. These do seem to be getting better and better. Achilles versus Balder, Greeks versus Norse. While both were blessed to be unbeatable, Achilles' mother risked both their lives to bestow him with an unbreakable body, and Balder's mother used her divine status to make the world itself promise to never hurt her son for fear of him dying. Achilles went on to become a soldier, where being invulnerable proved to be a curse, his comrades getting past his indestructible body and into his heart, only to all die around him. Balder meanwhile grew to be the star child of the gods, innocent and beloved by all. The two eschew weapons and armour for obvious reasons. Achilles throws punch after kick, unable to touch Balder, while Balder continually throws Achilles to the ground, utilising the Viking wrestling style Glimmer, alongside his blessing, making the world bend itself around him. He can control momentum as he sees fit. That is very OP. Only for Achilles to be unharmed. Eventually, to break the stalemate, the two steal the other strategy. Achilles grabs Balder, hoping he has less chance to redirect something holding him, only for Balder to hit him with the first punch he's thrown in his life. There's a deafening crack as both Achilles' ribs and Balder's hand are broken, the men collapsing and reeling respectively, writhing as they feel pain for the first time. Achilles, though, soon enough stands back up to Balder's horror, with an image of him cradling the body of the man he held dearest. Patroclus. Achilles can only think one thing. He's been hurt worse before. Achilles commits to wrestling while Balder refuses to strike, fruitlessly flinging his foe for fear of breaking anything else off. Eventually, though, after gaining some distance, Balder realises he must bear the pain to win. Steeling himself, he crouches like a sprinter before launching himself as Achilles, thrusting an arm out like a spear and burying it into his chest. Achilles takes the hit, catching Balder's free arm as the other is stuck in his chest, using his momentum as he falls back to drive the god headfirst into the ground. I'm thinking Achilles to win here, but honestly this one I'm undecided on. That is awesome. That is generally sick. Just catch up with this a little bit. Kudos for you for trying to keep this on normal schedule of an hour. Yeah, that's just not. I don't know. We'll see. There is like a limit to like how long I can stream. Worst comes to worst, I'll have to split this into 2 parts and do another stream, doing the other half, which I don't really want to do. It might be needed though. I can't even stream tomorrow because I could maybe stream tomorrow if I stream later than usual. Maybe we'll see how far we get. Like, although looking at the time, I don't know if we're going to get this all done today. It's funny because when I was younger, I was into Death Battle and liked making my own matchups, and this is just that but better. I'm so back. Yeah. Like, this is as cool. This is better than Death Battle. I think we can agree. Fun fact about Noelle from Genshin: she's not a knight yet because she's too selfless. She went to a mountain cursed by the heavens. To forever to winter during a storm, and she went there to save someone. She sounds like a lass, an up-class lass. Can we get much higher? Literally, can we get much higher? I feel people like this one a lot. Noelle was knocked out for 3 whole days because her blood became frozen. Her blood became frozen? That's insane. Multiple streams would be cool. Yeah, multiple streams would be cool, but like, it's not ideal. We want to try and get this done in one stream. Where are we up to now? Round 5. At least this one's a bit shorter. How do you say it again? It's Kunlun, the Mongol one, versus Andata. Warrior princess versus goddess of victory. Horseback archer versus werebear. Both revered strong women, additionally bolstered by beast's strength. The wild woman, Ardata, boasts of training to gain such strength for herself, while the pampered princess, Kunlun, must rely on her horse. She only manages to kill said horse and leave Kunlun facing her on foot, but only at a point where they're mutually exhausted of their weapons and powers. Ardata unable to maintain her werebear form, neither able to back down while the crowd cheers for them. They wrestle while Ardata wins. It leaves a bitter taste in the mouths of the gods, as she, unable to overcome Kunlun's sole strength after all that boasting, pushes herself beyond her limits to force out the werebear for one last time, only doing more damage to Kunlun than herself because she killed her. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. Round 6. Bass Reeves versus Makatori Gunyabe. American versus Taino. From slave to shaman to sheriff, the immortal marshal rides up his trusty steed, rifle in hand and revolver at his hip. Against legions of undead, the bat-like god of death soars overhead, surveying the battle between a man who spent his whole life cheating him and those he judged to rot on earth. Unworthy to enter his sweet underworld with wit and grit alike, Bass fights through the horde, miraculously untouched after too many close calls to count, just as he did in life, having made thousands of arrests over tens of years and thousands of miles. Retiring to peacefully die of natural causes, Bass finally finds his chance and lands a shot on the airborne god, grounding him for his final face-off. Makatori's assurance in the certainty of death falters, unable to believe his eyes. After a grueling melee, Makatori managing to avoid all 6 of the last rounds in Bass's revolver, he pins the man down and prepares to finish him off, musing that Bass's immortality was simple delusion, all just sheer dumb luck, before being cut off by a roar of pain as Bass gouges the wound that brought him down from the sky. The moment of agony allows the marshal to wrestle himself free, the god of death rearing back for another strike, before seeing that Bass had dug the one bullet he'd buried in his back out, loading into a revolver and finally landing a shot. As the god of death lays dying, Bass tells him he always knew he was as mortal as any man. He simply never let death loom over him, knowing someday he'd die all the same. That is awesome. That is really, really cool. There's 14 rounds of this. God. Yeah, but that one was really cool. I still think my favourite... I think my favourite's still round 2, but these have all been awesome. Round 7, Cleopatra versus Pele. The fiery heated Pele brings her volcanic earthquaking might against Cleopatra in the very heart of her empire, only to notice that the geography and sky don't match her original location on Earth, and coming to the horrific realization that this is not simply the site of her battle. Cleopatra wields all of Egypt itself as her weapon, imbuing its people, perhaps some of its gods and her monsters. Her heartless entitlement, unable to register another sapient being as anything but a tool to use as she fits. That is insane, but like in a really cool way. Or an obstacle to be removed. Like Pele herself, Pele pushes through the millions Cleopatra sends as her soldiers and civilians. So civilians, men, women, children, animals, everything to ever live under the rule of the pharaoh. Her heart ultimately cannot bear the horrors, however, and she falters at the end, looking into Cleopatra's eyes, desperate to try and recognise any form of humanity in them, allowing the pharaoh to poison the goddess, twisting the knife in her final moments by telling her this is humanity. Okay, this is my favourite one. This is insane. That is awesome. I love that. That is my favourite one so far. That's awesome. Like, it obviously does the thing where, like, the human is more like, the god has, like, more human qualities than the human, but the human is just, like, sending, like, women and children to fight for them, seeing everyone as, like, an object is insane. I love that. Round 8. Mari Kingui versus Ogon, an aspiring Congolese mystic who was brought to Haiti as a slave. Mari uses her divination to sell out fellow slaves who plotted against their oppressors, eventually gaining her freedom. She then devoted her talents to be a healer for anyone and everyone across the country she could, seeking recompense for what she did for her freedom, only to eventually be imprisoned, fading into obscurity, decreed as a dangerous quack for those whom she had to sell her soul to win the favour of in the first place. Ogun, meanwhile, was a smithing god, crafting tools and paving the path of his fellow humans as only a minor lord, not as the supreme ruler he felt he deserved to be for the role he played. He would lose himself to drink and go from smithing tools to weapons, testing them first on his subjects to assure their perfection before trying to take the heavens, only to be eventually ousted and exiled. Mari fights defensively with her divination and magics for healing and purification, while the intoxicated Ogun launches an unrelenting offence, wielding a hammer that can draw metals from the earth itself, able to smith an endless arsenal on the fly. The two gradually rub off one another, Mari coming to decree the unfairness of her life, and Ogun realising the folly of his hubris. The battle ends in Ogun's favour, however, as he's better able to adjust weapons alongside of his fighting style, as he shifts in attitude. While Mari's magic abides by stricter rules, she's unable to change as her personality shifts, causes her to use them ill-fittingly. As the defeated Mari passes, though, Ogun comforts her, acknowledging the unfairness of the world and resolving to no longer try and appease his ego, but set things right so nobody like her will have to live so unfairly again, whether he must reform the heavens or destroy them. That one's sick. These are all awesome. They're all really, really cool. There's like not much more I can say apart from they're just cool. Oh, we got Dante again. Dante versus Kali. Dante, often joked about in the modern day as a writer of fan fiction, represents finding new ways to use old things, wielding a magic quill and inkwell that brings his imagination to life as he writes and draws on the air. Picture a mix of Rohan from JoJo's and Sai from Naruto. Even this, though, cannot last long against Kali, a goddess of destruction, whose rampages are unmatched by even the rest of the Hindu pantheon combined. Okay, sounds like Kali's pretty goddamn strong. As she walks away through, though, his blood and the magic ink mix, and out of the crimson pool steps Dante. Not the man as he lived, but the idealised self he wrote and dreamed of. Picture a mix of Dante from Devil May Cry and Dante from the Dante Inferno game. Well, perhaps a separate being as he muses, that if nothing else, I can turn this loss into a draw. With superhuman style and skill, he turns the tide and cuts Kali down, only for her to be reborn as well, where Kali was. While a divine berserker still flesh and blood, her reincarnation Samahara is more than the raw concept of destruction. Picture a freaky cosmic silhouette like a blend of Asura from Asura's Wrath with the anti-Spar from Gurren Lagann. That sounds awesome. The two's clash is logic defying. They are perhaps the two most powerful combatants in Eschaton, but in the end, Samahara burns through all of Dante's imagination, finally landing a decisive blow to erase the very dream of himself. As he burns away into nothing, though, Dante notices that somewhere within Samahara, Kali is still there, and after he's gone, Samahara collapses to her knees, having grown to feel for Dante and now mourning, saying she'll never forget him. That is awesome because it's like a play on like the idea that like even if you die, like memories and dreams will never like dreams will never die. And even though Dante, the literal like imagination and dream of Dante was erased from existence, because she still remembers him, his dream lives on. That's awesome. Oh, there's so many here that like could be the best. Round 10. Kanom Tom versus Takumi Kazuchi. Humanity's mightiest prisoner faces heaven's mightiest enforcer. Takumi Kazuchi arrives on a thunderbolt, sword in hand, ready to face his foe, only to see him barehanded, clad in scattered wrappings. He asks you to allow him to fight for them without any weapons or armours. Anai Kantum Tom says he fights for no one who tells him to. Those who did, royalty and military alike, allowed Siam to fall to the Burmese. Meanwhile, it was his own body that let him survive the invasion, enduring imprisonment and to soar in the arena the conquerors put him in, besting any challenge before him to the point that even Mangra, king of the Burmese, sang of him, fight after fight with every drop of blood spilled, every bone broken, every punch, kick, elbow and knee thrown. He painstakingly crafted the art of 8 limbs. Oh, did he invent Muay Thai then? The pride of his people, the martial arts of Muay Thai. Takumi Kazuchi plants his sword in the ground, lightning strikes all around them, creating a deadly ring. He says he's seen this before, a loyal warrior for those who slew his father. He was once sent to conquer the province of Izuma. His last challenge there was the defiant Takumi Nakata, who made one last desperate gamble, betting the land in one-on-one combat. Takumi Kazuchi cemented his conquest with his bare hands. From a crushing grab to a ragdolling throw, Takumi Kazuchi created the martial art of sumo in one clean motion. And again he'd bring such might upon one refusing to accept defeat. Their words exchanged, the two begin their pre-battle rituals. It's so sick that we're not into the fight yet, but there's so much cool build-up to this. Naikanam Tom did the war dance of Waiku Ra Mwai, offering prayers to the gods and his fellow man alike. Takumi Kazuchi first did Shiko, stomping to gain the attention of all, and then Chirichozu slowly extended his hand to show that he held no weapons before clapping his hands and feet alike, making thunder. The two warriors then wordlessly clashed, showing the full tapestries of their martial arts, striking versus grappling, and it's Nai Kanumtum who emerges victorious. Muay Thai's clinch fighting allowing him to overcome the mighty wrestling of sumo. The weapons of his body wrapped in blessed garbs, allowing the force of his strikes to pierce the incomparable musculature of a divine sumotori. Takumi Kazuchi, his neck shattered with a brutal elbow, stays standing even in defeat. Niken and Tom left in the dirt as he collapsed from exhaustion, still able to raise a fist in victory all the same. Okay, maybe another potential best one. I still think Cleopatra is my favourite. I just think the concept of that is so cool. Konota's intro versus Apollo should be her casually strolling while reading manga and eating cup ramen, while Apollo enters is more flashy, reflecting her dynamic. Whatever these tiers mean, there's guys to go in all of them. Last one, fact for Noelle, she has the powers of Earth and was upset because she wanted wind. She follows the god of wind, and the person she idolizes wind. You're going to be pretty shitty in Earth when you like wind so much. I chose Hachiman because I imagined Hatch using a fired bullet from Billy to shoot back at him. Oh, that'd be cool. Okay, 4 more rounds for this one. Round 11, Shaka versus Tran. Saka, the king who made the Zulu one of the world's mightiest armies. Huang Dao, Grand Prince of the Tran dynasty, who led them to the greatest military feats in history. 2 legendary warrior noblemen revered to the point of deification. Yet Shaka spurned as a bastard, fighting his way back up the ranks as a soldier to prove himself still stands a human. Meanwhile, Tran Huangdang, a prince with impossible odds dropped on him, managing to rally and lead his hopelessly outmatched people to victory, stands now as a god of war and exorcism. Only his family name remaining in his new identity of Duk Tan Tran. In a clash of wits, wills and weapons, from spears and shields to an axe and a sword, respectively, the two ponder and begin to realise the boundaries between man and god are not as clear as they thought. Shaka begins to feel like a god, and Tran begins to feel like a man, influencing the ebb and flow of the two using brawn and brains. What ultimately decides the battle, though, is Tran losing faith in his strength, relying more on cunning, but thinking Shaka lost to the allure of power, allowing the Zulu king to outsmart his underestimations and land a killing blow. That sounds... Oh, these are so cool. Jacob versus Raven. Biblical versus Native American. Jacob is one of humanity's key players. Their enigmatic quartermaster, who now stands revealed, ever overshadowed by his brother Esau. Jacob would both con him into signing over his inheritance and trick their dying father Isaac into giving him his last blessing. Intended for Esau, chased out of home by his brother for this, Jacob would happen upon an angel whom he wrestled into submission in exchange for yet another blessing. He travelled the world, insatiably accruing blessings and blessed items, and only upon achieving the impossible, reaching heaven as a living man, he realised he was empty, devoid of meaning. He'd relinquished much of what he'd acquired to his fellow humans, competing in Eschaton, giving them a fighting chance, albeit still boasting an ample arsenal for his role in the penultimate match. His opponent Raven is a living silhouette, merely resembling his avian namesake. An ashen shadow left from the birth of the world. It was a former being able to take on any shape, possessed by endless knowledge from the time before time. Yet all it ever knew was dissatisfaction, ever eluded by it. It didn't know its encounter with humans would see it become not just a physical shadow, but a psychological shadow as well, spiritually taunting humans with secrets and schemes, be it to trick them or whatever they had caught its fancy, or simple shade and fruit. The two faced one another with endless arsenals, Jacob having a tool for every shape the Raven could take, the Raven a trick around every blessing. Jacob boasted. Eventually the Raven lands a decisive blow, but only in exchange for its abyssal form gaining a gleaming scar. As he dies, Jacob speaks of the fleeting futility of possession. The Raven's nebulous features vacant, seemingly unregistering his words, but errantly twitching and nursing its wound as it left the arena, perhaps pondering the true fulfillment of altruism that Jacob spoke of, or maybe not. That's really cool, because Jacob spent his whole time trying to make him up, basically trying to do something, and he realised that his life hadn't really accomplished anything. But by scarring the Raven, by doing a permanent by leaving a permanent scar on it, with the Raven being the shadow of the world itself, it means he literally made a mark on the world in the most literal sense. Round 13, Maui versus Marduk. Maui is another of humanity's key players, a god who lived his life defying the heavens. He rallies humanity to fight in Eschaton. Marduk, the god of justice, sees Maui, who rose from being the runt of the family to a hero on Earth, as an icon of anarchy. Maui, you defiant schemer who would reject your birth, spit in the face of fate, masquerades as a hero, shall at last face true justice. Maui, meanwhile, sees Marduk, also the god of water, as the personification of oppression. I always knew it would be the sea, ever present, always there to try and impress upon me my weakness. Well, I think it's time you finally know what it's like to lose yourself. As the two clash reaches its peak, however, they're both suddenly attacked by Cleopatra, leading into the final round. What? What was the twist there? I must say the dialogue here is top tier. What is this? What is this Cleopatra stuff? And then lastly, round 14, Finion Mukkumel versus Isis. Theon is the last of humanity's key players. Born, God's sake, Diminé, as a kind young boy, he happened upon and chose to help the poet Finnegas in his lifelong search for the salmon of knowledge, said to bestow whoever tasted the infinite wisdom, only to accidentally gain its power for himself. Instinctively putting his thumb in his mouth after burning it off the salmon as he cooked, Finnegas rechristened Deminé to Theon, using his newfound knowledge for good across all his homelands. Now, while serving as humanity's chief strategist in Eschaton, he never planned to fight. All his life, he was always faced with things his damn heart refused to ignore. Always doing something for someone else. Never once able to figure himself out. Perhaps he thought after seeing humanity through this one last hurdle, he could finally live his own life. Meanwhile, Cleopatra, 7th of her name, last of the pharaohs, sought to regain the power of Isis, goddess of magic, mother of the pharaohs diminished through reincarnation, to make the world hers all over again, refusing to relinquish her reign to anyone, anything, even the march of time. And to gain that power, she took the lifeblood of two of the heaven's mightiest, Maui and Marduk, chaos and order, to reinvigorate herself, with one whose sense of responsibility to others leads him to curse a world that refuses to let him live his own life. and whose selfish greed leads her to rebirth herself again and again to maintain her dominion. The final clash of Eschaton commences in battle of those with knowledge of the beyond. That ending is so awesome. Like, that is a round of applause. That is so just unbelievably awesome. Cleopatra, the Cleopatra stuff is just so cool. Honestly, Surly, that is like, I know I wasn't going to rank them, but like, that is the best one we've had so far. Like, it's just not even close. Like, that was so unbelievably awesome. There could be some better ones coming up, but that is a Salt Frog tier, 100%. Let's have a look at the time. I feel we are going to have to face the reality that we are going to have to do a part 2 stream. Not quite yet. Okay, so Neo's I think we can definitely get done. Kira. Round Kira. We might need to save this to next time. Just because, maybe? I don't know, maybe. We're definitely going to get Neo's done. Maybe Kira's. We'll see. I think we can all agree. Yeah, Absolute Cinema. Epic. So epic. Yeah, that one was just awesome. Like, generally. Okay, so Neo. Round 1. William Wallace versus the Jade Emperor. Scottish versus Chinese. Ivan the Terrible versus Quetzalcoatl. Russian versus Aztec. Julius Caesar versus Texlopocl. Amakurashiro Tokasada versus Lono. Japanese versus Polynesian. Round 5. Muhammad Ali versus Pollock. Round 6. Arash versus Ul. Persian versus Norse. Round 7. Leonardo da Vinci versus Kamatos, the giant bat god. Round 8. Bruce Lee versus Zen Wu. Round 9. Hassan Aisaba versus Kama, or Kama, however you say it. Round 10. Samson versus Tsukiyomi. Round 11. Yi Sun Shin versus Neptune. Round 12. Spartacus versus Manan and Maclear. Gilgamesh versus how do you say it? Yaldabov. 1 minute. I think the ones here that I find the most interesting, Bruce Lee versus where is it? Bruce Lee versus Zen Wu sounds awesome. I think I can see the choreography of that being awesome. I really like the idea of, where was it? Leonardo versus Kamatos, just because I'm just curious how that would take, like what that could be. Julius Caesar versus Tetzalcoatl would be really cool. Even maybe if it was like them leading armies or something. But yeah, that one was really cool. Yeah, that was a cool. I think that is worthy of a. I think that's another bird tier. Still no Ebisu fish. I'm starting to lose hope we might not get an Ebisu fish. Okay, what time is it? It's just gone 7. I don't know if we've got time for this today. We can probably get one more short one done. Definitely not getting this done today. So we can do Chaoses, we can do Candies, we can do Elkanes, probably Sunguts. Oh, it depends who we want to do. Is there anyone? We can probably get 2 more short ones done. Is any of these rosters left to do? People still in chat? Because obviously, if you're in chat, it makes more sense why I'd want to do yours. Again, like Skeletal Rose, sorry. I will. It's my fault for not planning out the timings better. I probably should have given myself some more time. So in terms of people left in, so Candy, you're in chat. Definitely get yours done. Vic 4, you're J. Yeah, I reckon we can get it. Can we get that done? Well, can we get J's done time? Okay, let me do like I don't like making people wait because I promised this would be the stream. Okay, since you've been asking so much, V4 or how you say your name, we'll do yours. We'll do Candy's first, then we'll do yours, and then everyone else, I guess, wait till next stream. Again, I really do apologise. I really did not intend this. It's my fault for not anticipating how long this was going to take. I do apologise for that. But Candy, let's get this done. Replace some with fictional characters because I cannot think of a good power to give them. So we have General Luna versus Heracles. Weapon Revolver. Powers Ultimate Willpower. Explanation able to survive deadly attacks to a certain extent. That'd be pretty useful, especially against Heracles, where like Heracles, his big thing is like he was like putting himself through pain to use his weapon, to use his powers. So it'd be like literally like an endurance fight basically. Vlad the Impaler versus Huitzilopochtli. Huitzilopochtli's actually been very popular with these. Weapon Kiljabi, powers Bloodlust. Explanation: the more blood spilled, the more powerful he becomes. Makes sense. King Arthur, maybe Artoria versus Ares. Excalibur, obviously. Ability, belief. So the more people that believe, the more powerful they become. So that could be really cool because you can almost have something where like people don't lose faith in them, but then they have to like do a big speech and rally the crowd, and rallying the crowd powers them up. Oppenheimer versus Sekhmet. Weapon Iron Man armor, obviously, with the power of a nuclear fission, and can create a miniature sun. The power of a sun in the palm of my hand. Billy the Kid versus weapon the Winchester rifle. Instinctual evasion. Explanation: boost the ability to dodge oncoming attacks to a certain extent. Rentaro versus Ishtar. I know who Rentaro is now. Weapon just him. True love. Explanation: as long as he is fighting for his love, as his power skyrockets infinity itself and becomes unstoppable. Just having Rentaro here is hilarious. Nero versus Lucifer. Weapon sword. Power Emperor's madness. Madness that envelops Nero, allowing him to be nigh unpredictable in a fight. Laxus versus Takumi Kazuchi. Takumi Kazuchi's been another really popular one. He has powers the lightning dragon slayer. Explanation: has the ability to absorb and redirect lightning. Probably useful against Takumi Kazuchi because he sometimes got lightning powers depending on the myth. Leonardo da Vinci versus Thoth. A paintbrush that can make drawings come to life. Powers: fiction becomes reality and reality becomes fiction. Explanation: can create fictional beings he draws to fight or create paintings to absorb things. Cappuccino versus Boulder. Weapons: an ice sword. Powers: frozen throne. His ability allows him to create ice so cold it would freeze any opponent. John Cena versus Hades. The fight of the invisible men, I guess. Weapon: hands just like Raiden. Powers: you can't see me. Exactly. Explanation: invisible. So it's just two invisible guys fighting. Captain America versus Athena. Weapon: shields. Makes sense. Super Soldier Serum. After an experiment, he became the best example of heroism in the world. It is simple, but I guess the point across, I'd say probably my favourite matchups, Candy, would probably be... I like the Rentaro one a lot. Da Vinci versus Thoth is pretty cool too. But I think the best is John Cena versus Hades. Yeah. To be fair, just for John Cena versus Hades, just for that matchup, I think you will be the first person to make it into Ebisu Fishgun tier. I think it's worthy of the tier. I think it is. You underestimate your own audience of coming up with random stuff. I do. I generally do. Okay, so this will be our lot. I know Son Kujut has done like a really short one, so we'll do this quickly and then we'll do the one. We'll smash this one out quickly because it's really short, and then we'll get on to we'll finish off with K4s. Sorry. Thank you, El Kane and Skeletor, for being like understanding of like time constraints. Again, I do apologize, but thank guys for being good sports with stream. I'll try to do stream tomorrow. But we'll get these last two done, and then I'll be this for this stream. Cat, you are being a real pain in the ass. This cat torments me. Okay, so not gonna lie, I'll be done making a recommended versus Genshin by next stream too. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, you can put more stuff in between this stream and next stream if you want. Just don't flood it and make a third stream needed. Okay, so Song Kujut, anime versus Record of Ragnarok Gods. Gojo versus 4, The Curse of Strength. Makes sense. Deku versus Zeus, Accepting Responsibility, aka Zeus pummeling Deku to death. Tinker, Sophie, shh. Senku versus Poseidon, humanity's hype beast versus humanity's down player. That'd be good because like Poseidon would just stand there and let Senku like whip some stuff up. Ainz from Overlord versus Heracles, purest heroism versus necessary evil. I don't even know a lot of what Ainz does in necessary evil. I think it's Ainz just not knowing what his subordinates are up to. Baki versus Shiva, clash of passion. Just imagine like Baki imagines he has like another set of arms and they're going like 4 arms versus 4 arms. Hayato Windbreaker versus Urafuku, learning to become an adult, bit of maturation. And then Mob versus Apollo, self-doubt against self-love. Oh, that'd be cool. Like Apollo like inspires Mob to be better. Okay. This I think is gonna be a. I can see that. Is it a gold tier or a bird tier? I think it's a bird tier. I like how, like, I kind of know what these tiers mean. Kind of, very loosely. But you guys have no clue what the tiers even mean. Okay, so. One more for the day. Okay, so I made this roster as a sequel to the original Record Ragnarok. Also made Apocalypse of the Gods. AOTG. So I've changed Wrath with Horus. Okay, fair enough. And I'm keeping Wukong because I like the matchup too much. And in this version, he wins the tournament and is permitted to fight here. Fair enough. So, the Demon King Oda Nobunaga versus the Greek god of war, Ares. Warrior versus warrior. Glad to see Ares is back. The main message of this matchup is what it means to fight with a reason or a cause. I always thought there could be more to Ares in the story, so I came up with his power being proportional to the confidence he has in himself. This way everyone treats him the way reason that when the story and why he seems so weak. So for this fight, he would become more powerful the more the fight goes on. The first spark of self-respect be ignited by Nobunaga himself. Oh, that's cool. So it's like... Oh yeah, that is really cool. Yeah, so it's like Nobunaga's like the... Yeah, so if he gains confidence, he becomes stronger. Cool. The most charitable human, Robin Hood, versus the Greek goddess of the hunt, Artemis. So we got some bow action here. Hunter versus Hunter. Insert Hunter x Hunter reference. Paralleling Leah versus Apollo. This matchup is between two completely different people on the surface that discover they aren't so different by the end of the fight. Also, a second theme is what it means to be a hunter and to bring something back to share with others. Oh yeah, so Artemis brings back the hunt, like food for them, and then like Robin Hood's bringing back like wealth for the poor. Also, I chose Robin Hood because I wanted to have more mythical people on the roster that don't have to exist to have a huge influence, like Adam in the original series. I also wanted an Archer versus Archer fight. Yeah, that sounds really cool. I was going to say something, I forgot what I said. The Dragon King, Vlad Tepes. Yeah, Vlad's a really common one on each roster too. Versus the Aztec God of War, Quetzalcoatl. Respect versus fear. Vlad had some of the most brutal war strategies to make the enemies fear him, but at the same time, he was even more respected as a ruler and a hero who fought and did what he had to for his country, contrasting him to Quetzalcoatl, which in my version demanded needless sacrifice from his followers just to show dominance and authority. Like the polar opposite of Sephiroth, I see. The fight would start with Vlad using a mace and later revel on towards the end of the fight into a Yatagahan, an Ottoman saber, while Quetz would use a Makawatu. I know what they look like, I just don't know how to say it. And his powers would be blood-based, have a feathered snake transformation towards the end. A fun idea is that both of them would have blood-based powers, Vlad having a weapon that makes the wounds bleed continuously, and Quetz having the powers that the more blood he is covered in, the stronger he gets. Very cool. So what does the tier mean? You don't get to know what the tiers mean. I get to know what the tiers mean. You guys don't. Not gonna lie, I'll be done making. Okay, so we'll just do the rest tomorrow. If that's cool. Yeah. That's the plan. Again, I didn't expect this many to be honest with you, and I didn't really plan very well. LK, no problems there. Yeah, thanks for being a good sport about it. I'll be there if I've got the time, but my roster's already been covered. Yeah, that's fair. If you do stream, what time tomorrow? I won't be until kind of late tomorrow. So probably about an hour from now. In my time zone. Yeah, so whatever time it is now in your time zone, like an hour from now, that is probably when I'd be streaming tomorrow. Yeah, I think about that. Fun fact about Henry Luna: his ability is based on the fact that people legit survived being hacked and shot for a while. Lovely stuff. The first man to fly Icarus and the first astronaut, Huan Hu, versus the god who guides the sun, Helios, and Shinto moon god Tsukiyomi. Is this a tag team match? I wanted to come up with an original idea that came to me as the first 2v2 round. Two men that wanted to get to the sun and moon. One failed, the other disappearing trying. And the two gods who stood in their way in this fight. The ones who work together will win. Will it be the humans who will conquer their biggest divine obstacles in life? Or will the gods put aside their pride and work together against two humans? This is one of the coolest setups I've ever heard for like a fan fight in Wreck-It Ragnarok. This is awesome. As for the weapons, Icarus would have golden wings, Volons that can never be melted. Makes sense. And Huan Wu's Volons would be lightened that makes any firework he ignites able to hurt the gods. And for the gods, Helios would have a whip that he rides his chariot with, and Tsukiyomi would have two iron fans that would use to blow away the fireworks when Huan tries to shoot at him. Also to add to Wan Hu's backstory, he actually made it to the moon, but he died as he saw the palace of the moon gods, goddess Changhui. Oh, cool! So he gets to the moon. There's just like a god chilling there. That is probably my favourite of these so far. That one's really cool. Most evil human, Adolf Hitler. It's another Hitler one versus god of cruelty, Moloch. Evil versus evil. Fair enough. It was inevitable to bring him up. Everyone thinks about what if he would be in the series, so I put him up against one of the most well-known demonic deities that hasn't been referenced in the series. Just to add to his backstory a bit, after his death he was found by Soviet troops and was brought back to life to be tortured and used for experience. So in the fight he is part cyborg with a gun in his stomach. Yes, it's a JoJo SCP reference. I immediately, as soon as he said the gun in his stomach, I was like, this is just Strohenheim, isn't it? I really like that one too, that's pretty fun. Oh yeah, 1 minute guys. Okay, I will try. Cool. Okay, anyway. Okay, we're speed blitz through these. Just been informed that I am needed soon, so we'll see. Okay, so Ragnar versus the Norse god of war tier. Believer versus belief. I imagine Ragnar would be more loud and fight thirsty, like Thorkel from Vinland Saga, and he's always looked up to the Norse god with now the chance to fight one. Imagining Tyr, who is a stoic individual who only fights when needed. Ragnar fighting for war axe and Tyr with a sword. I want the most to explore Tyr's backstory being the caretaker Fenrir. The backstory starts with the aftermath of the Titan invasion, and how even after Tyr was mutilated, he still made a full recovery with Norse magic, and was accompanied by his friend Fenrir. Odin, like in mythology, foresaw that Fenrir will grow to be a threat to his plan, so he sealed him with Tyr's arm in the beast's mouth, but Tyr was not informed of the plan beforehand. He lost his arm, and on that everyone present said that Tyr was crying from the unbearable pain. But was this true? No, he was crying because he betrayed his closest friend and so never healed his arm. Another prophecy was foretold that says Fenrir will be able to break free in Ragnarok and will punish the gods for imprisoning him. Look what time it is in the present. And so in Tyr's lowest moment in the fight, ready to accept defeat and death, Fenrir showed up before the god. Tyr accepted death by the friend he betrayed. The only thing he got was comfort. Fenrir broke free not because he wanted revenge, but because he felt his friend was in need of help. And so they fight together, and like the Valkyries, they aligned their souls to perform Volond. And Fenrir becoming Tyr's new arm, the god was able to fight with his full strength again, and more than that. I love the Fenrir bit. The most legendary king after Pendragon versus the great sage equal to heaven, Sun Wukong. King versus king. I want this matchup to have the same theme of what it means to be king that Hades versus Chin had. We're probably the most well-known king in A Legends that still influence stories to this day. So you have the stone monkey with multiple layers of immortality, and you have the most legendary sword in the stone, Excalibur. So imagine the sword in its version is able to kill even immortal beings, in Wukong's case, one layer at a time, making the fight fair and giving him an opponent that can match him even in power. And I wanted to give Excalibur an extended explanation how it got to Earth, originally being Zeus's sword that was lost in one of the ways of the Greeks had. And a divine sword that can only be used by someone worthy enough, someone who never doubts, never yields, never relies, and never surrenders, a true king. And so an additional detail would be that at some point in the fight, a sword would be struck in Wukong's body and he would be able to pull it out, proving that he is the Monkey King. Also, Arthur would be the only human who wouldn't need a Valkyrie to fight a god. That's pretty sick. The greediest. Sorry if I'm like rushing through these, but like time is becoming an element of essence here. The greediest human, Alexander the Great versus Lucerathal, Hyperion. Greed versus desire. So this is a very specific version of Hyperion. It's one from the most well-known Romanian poems by the name Luciferal, meaning shining star. So Hyperion, who is a god of stars and brings luck to couples, falls in love with a human girl that can't accept him because he's a divine being. So he goes to the creator to be changed to human. A god who can have anything and live forever wants to give away his divinity for a human lifespan, an hour of love. He is rejected, and for what seemed to be moments to him, back on Earth years passed, and the girl found a human man to love. So in contrast to that, you have Alexander the Great, who wanted the entire world, and then he stopped when he listened to the man in his army. But was this true? Was this the only reason he stopped invading right around the border of India? No. When he got there, he was met with the protector of the West, Varuna, and so he challenged the deity to a duel that lasted days. Even without any divine power, Alexander fought the fight to a draw. He looked back at his exhausted men and decided it's finally time to go back. That is just awesome setup there. So you have the man who tried to have everything and the god who had everything and still wanted the impossible. Alexander fighting with Sarissa, a giant spear his army was using, and Hyperion fighting with a giant axe in the shape of a star. Well, that could be my favourite one of these so far. Wild Bill, the fastest hand versus the god that saw the set, comes versus Chaos. You get the most well-known legend of the High West, put it against a desert deity of the old world. I mainly imagine the spectacle of having a cowboy fighting a god who can change into any animal possible. That will impact a later fight. Also for Bill's Valkyrie, Hrust will be my choice so that he can have a double Volond, both a gun and a lasso. You can't have a cowboy without a lasso, according to Araki. Four more. Freest human in history, Edward Teach versus Hindu god of storms Rudra. Freest man versus freest god. The arena is full of water, not even a small portion of land like the original round 3, a request made by Blackbeard himself. His Volond is his entire ship he can control with single thought. Facing him in his second strongest Hindu god, only behind Shiva himself, who can change and control the weather. Bringing down his opponent's advantage, the entire fight would happen on the ship. So at any point, it could sink with the captain if Teach loses conviction. So captain going down with his ship. Another power that Blackbeard has is that the more he sets on fire his beard strands, the more powerful he becomes. It's like, I guess it's like when he used to light like dynamite in his like beard. Also, compared to the legends that surround him, was Teach a cruel person who just pillaged and slayed whoever stands in his way? No. All of those were false depictions seen by those from the outside. All he wanted was to be free, to do whatever he wanted with his crew that shared the same ideals. Father of Evolution, Charles Darwin versus the Hindu god of creation Brahma. After Darwin saw the wonder that was Set's power, together with all the brightest minds that once helped Tesla come up with his final creation and a Valkyrie to make the idea into reality, Darwin created a suit that can mould and take the properties of any animal that he has studied. This is around where all the questions can be asked and answered. Did the gods create humanity, or did humanity just evolve? Are the gods just belief taken form? How about everything else? Maybe the answer is somewhere in the middle. I want half of the fight to be a philosophical debate. And for Brahma, make him have a sleeping power he didn't use since the time of the primordials. Maybe even mixing some Brahman connection. That I like a lot. Barbaric King Genghis Khan versus Egyptian God of the Sky Horus. Cruelty versus benevolence. I want to see Genghis Khan use all the ways Mongolians know to fight, with him using the bows, exceeding 150-pound draw weight, have him on horseback until he's brought down from it, and then what happens? When that happens, be sure to know he's going to use a bok to fight up close. And for Horus, he's going to be similar to Ra and will be able to fight up close. Going to have the ability to fly, maybe wings. Going to have a mech suit too to match his opponent's archery. I like that a lot. And the final one, Jesus Christ versus Izanami. The Blessed One versus the Goddess of Creation and Death. Life versus death. What the entire tournament's about. After so many rounds, lost and won, he had to intervene. He had to save humanity. This time again, carrying the cross he once died on, he steps into the arena. So he's literally got the cross on his shoulder. His opponent, once a goddess of creation, now corrupted by death, will the saviour be successful, or will the goddess take humanity's last home away? So Jesus' ability will be based on the 10 commandments, each one with different powers, and like in record riding fashion, we probably won't see them all in his fights. That was really good. I'm glad we hung on to read that. That was really, I think my favourites. It's got to be the tag team fight. That is awesome. Like, as a concept, yeah, I really like that. So I think to finish off the stream, we're gonna give this bad boy of a roster into the Salt Frog tier. There we go. Oh, I can see my face again. Yeah, so that is what we're gonna. That is what we're gonna do. So 8 p.m. Yeah, basically, 8 p.m. 8 p.m. British time, basically. Basically, Henry Young was also being assassinated and survived for a while. Awesome. There's a movie about Henry Luna. If you're interested, it's in Tagalog. Pretty sure it has English subs on Netflix. I might have to check it out. Glad you liked that. Yeah, it was really cool. Nice job. Yeah, it was awesome. Another absolute cinema. Thank you guys. I have a tag team battle too. Nice. I'm excited for yours and Skeletor's Rise if there's a tag team. Okay, I'm gonna have to end stream now. We'll be back tomorrow at 8 o'clock British time. Sorry of that. Sorry the stream's a bit rushed at the end, but like I got stuff to. I got people calling for me. I've got places to be. Cheesemo. I literally said I'm ending stream, and you go and donate this. I'm literally talking. I'm doing the outro. I'm doing the outro here. I'm doing the outro, and you're donating. You show up right at the end of the stream, and you donate $5 for the goddamn Polyfly. Okay, well, this is what's going to happen. The Polyfly will come out, and then the stream's going to end. Okay, that's what's going to happen, you bastards. See that? There you go.